Congratulations, you are alive at the dawn of a story that will consume worlds, hearts, and souls. The desert winds howl across your skin, whipping sand into every crack, every scar, every fragile breath you draw. The twin suns burn your back, relentless, cruel, and you taste the iron of sweat and dust on your tongue. You are told you are a slave, caged, bound, powerless. But deep beneath the fear, something stirs, something ancient, something dangerous. The force hums beneath your ribs, a pulse you cannot yet control, a whisper that promises both salvation and destruction. You glance at the horizon, shimmering with heat, and the stars you cannot reach burn brighter than any freedom you've known. Dreams claw at you, tearing at the edges of your soul, daring you to rise above this life, daring you to risk everything. Every choice feels like a blade pressing against your throat. One wrong move and everything dies. Your hope, your family, the boy you once were. The galaxy is vast, chaotic, and cruel. Whispers of prophecy curl around you like smoke, promising greatness, promising power, but the cost is written in blood. You do not yet know how far you will fall, how deeply fear can twist the heart, how even love can become a chain. A shadow passes over you. A saber ignites in your vision. A stranger's gaze piercing through the boy they see and straight into the man you might become. And in that instant, the choice is made, not yet spoken, not yet understood, but felt in the marrow of your bones. The line between hero and monster has been drawn. You only do not yet know which side you will stand on. The world waits, indifferent and roaring, as the fire of destiny curls around you. Every heartbeat drums like a war horn. Every breath tastes of dust, blood, and inevitability. And somewhere deep inside, the boy, the man, and the monster all whisper together, promising you power, yes, love, and ruin. The journey begins now, and when it ends you will either bring balance or destroy everything you once held dear. The first thing you feel is heat. It presses down on you like a weight you can't escape. Two suns hang in the sky above Tatooine, merciless and blinding. The air itself tastes of dust, dry and bitter, scratching your throat with every breath. Wind howls across the endless dunes, carrying with it the scent of scorched metal and oil from the junkyards that litter Mos Espa. You are small here, fragile. A boy with sand under his fingernails. A boy whose skin is already hardened by the desert. A boy branded not with fire, but with ownership, slave, property. Your mother whispers that word in shame, others spit it in your face. But you dream. You spend your days in the shadows of machines. Starship parts piled high like mountains, pod racer engines humming with danger, scraps of technology long abandoned by those who could afford better. You crawl between broken gears, grease coating your arms, the stench of oil clinging to your skin. Watto's voice rings in your ears, harsh and grating, like a chain dragging across stone. He commands, insults, bargains. His wings buzz in the heat, his eyes always calculating what you're worth. To him, you're just another tool. A set of hands too small for most jobs, but nimble enough to crawl into places grown men cannot. You obey, because you must. Disobedience brings punishment. Freedom is a word you only hear in stories. And yet, you feel it. Something humming deep within you. A current, a pull. When you touch machines, they come alive. When you race across the desert on your pod racer, impossible speeds bend to your will. It is as if the galaxy itself leans toward you, whispers to you. Night falls, and Tatooine grows quiet. The heat bleeds away, leaving only cold silence. You lie on a simple cot beside your mother. Her face is weary, her eyes carrying the weight of 1,000 quiet sacrifices. She strokes your hair, soft and slow. Dee tells you that you are special, that one day you will escape this life. But there is fear in her voice, because escape means leaving her behind. And you are all she has. Sleep doesn't come easy. The desert wind rattles the metal walls of your hut, moaning like a ghost. You close your eyes and dream of stars, endless, glowing stars, calling to you. Out there, beyond the dunes, beyond the cages of slavery, there is something waiting, something greater. The next morning, Watto drags you into the heat of the marketplace. Mos Espa is alive with noise. Alien languages barked across stalls, the clatter of droids, the stench of sweat, spice, and roasted meat. You walk barefoot on cracked stone, the burns of the ground biting at your feet. Children stare at you. Some mock, some pity. But when you stare back, your eyes burn with something different. Defiance. Because deep down, you know you're not like them. And then the whispers begin. You don't hear them with your ears, not truly. You feel them, as if the air itself is leaning close to breathe into your skin. A prophecy, carried through time like smoke. A chosen one will come, a child born of no father, a slave who will rise to bring balance to the Force. You don't know the words yet, but you feel their weight. Days blur into one another. Work, pain, dust, the never-ending rhythm of servitude. But inside, a storm brews. You race. Not because Watto commands it, not because the crowds cheer when your pod racer blurs across the canyon, but because the desert is the only place you feel alive. The roar of engines shakes your bones, the sand lashes your skin, and for a moment, just a moment, you are free. The Force guides your hands. Every turn, every twist, every impossible leap, it bends toward you, obeying, flowing. But with every victory comes suspicion, whispers that no human child should have such reflexes, that you are unnatural, dangerous. You hear them, you pretend not to, but the whispers grow louder. One night, after another long day, you sit at the edge of the junkyard, staring at the horizon. The suns are setting, painting the sand in blood red and gold. Your mother calls you inside, her voice gentle but tired. You don't move, because something is changing. You feel it. In the stillness of the air, in the distant hum beneath your skin. It frightens you, but it also excites you. For the first time you believe the cage won't hold forever. And then, strangers arrive. A ship unlike any you've seen before descends upon Mos Espa, sleek, polished, powerful. Jedi robes move through the crowd, alien voices hush in respect and suspicion. And when one of them looks at you, really looks, your breath catches. Because for the first time in your life, someone sees you not as a slave, not as a boy, but as something more. The prophecy stirs, the chains rattle, and you feel the first tremor of destiny calling your name. You are no longer just a child of sand, no longer just property. You are the whisper in the prophecy. You are the storm the galaxy cannot yet see. The first thing you smell is oil. It seeps into everything, your skin, your hair, the ragged clothes clinging to your body. The stench of burnt wiring lingers on your fingertips, mixing with the metallic tang of blood from where a gear sliced your palm earlier in the day. You should wrap it, but you don't. There's no time. Watto won't care about your wounds, only that the broken generator in the back of the shop is fixed before the suns rise again. So you keep working. The junkyard is silent now. Long after the marketplace has emptied and the pod racer bays have gone dark, only the desert wind moves, carrying with it the faint whistle of sand grinding against metal. Your small hands dig through piles of scrap, searching for a piece that shouldn't even exist here on this forgotten world. A hyperdrive coupler, a functioning stabilizer, a miracle. The scraps cut your fingers, the heat from the metal stings, but still you dig. And when you finally find what you need, when you fit it together with parts that don't belong, the dead machine stirs. Sparks spit into the darkness. Lights blink awake. Power surges where it shouldn't. It roars to life. And in that moment, you feel it again. The hum, the current, the invisible hand that seems to guide yours. As if something far greater than you wants this machine to live. But with every creation comes the same reminder. You are still a slave. The chain isn't visible, not like the iron shackles of the stories your mother told you, but it's there. It's in Watto's sharp commands, in the way he reminds you that every bolt you tighten belongs to him. Every hour of your life belongs to him. Even your victories are his property, and yet, you dream. When the work is done, when Watto finally snores in his cluttered little room, and your mother sleeps with exhaustion beside you, you sneak outside. The night air is cool, thin, carrying the scent of sand baked dry from the day. You climb onto the roof of the hut, your bare feet scratching against rusted metal, and lie down. Above you the stars burn, endless, cold, beautiful. You stretch out your hand as if you could touch them, as if you could climb into the sky and vanish from this prison. For a few minutes, you let yourself imagine it. Not a slave, not a boy trapped in dust, but a pilot streaking through the galaxy at impossible speed. The Force hums faintly, like a whisper in your chest, urging you to believe. But dreams are fragile here. The next morning Watto wakes you with a shout and a shove. Your body aches from the cold roof, your eyes heavy with sleep, but you obey. He drags you into the marketplace, the twin suns already clawing at your skin. Mos Espa is alive again, creatures shouting over prices, droids clattering by with crates, pod racer engines growling in the distance. A Toydarian's laugh echoes nearby, sharp and ugly. Another slave boy cries out as he's struck by his master. You flinch, but you keep walking, because fear is survival here, and you've learned how to hide it well. Watto leaves you to haul parts. The boxes are heavy, cutting into your arms, your knees trembling under the weight. The crowd jostles you, ignores you, treats you like air. Nobody looks twice at a boy with grease on his face and dust in his hair, but you notice them. The pilots, the merchants, the free men who barter, who curse, who walk away unchained. They are no older than you, some younger, yet they live without collars, without cages. Your chest burns with envy. That night, you tinker again. Not for Watto, not for anyone, for yourself. Hidden under a tattered blanket, you work by candlelight on something fragile and small, a protocol droid. Piece by piece, you rebuild it from scraps others would throw away. A dream of a helper for your mother, a companion for long nights. You whisper to it as you work, speaking to metal as though it can hear, and perhaps in some way, it does. Your hands move too perfectly, guided by more than instinct. Wires connect that shouldn't, circuits bend to your will, and soon its eyes flicker. Yellow light glows. It blinks, alive. You smile, wide and unguarded, the first true smile in days. For a moment, you forget the chains. For a moment, you are not a slave. You are a creator. But joy fades quickly on Tatooine. The next day your secret almost cost you everything. Watto stumbles into the hut earlier than usual. He notices the pile of missing parts, the faint smell of solder. His eyes narrow, his wings buzz. You freeze, your heart hammering in your chest as he growls, demanding to know what you've taken. You lie. You say nothing. You keep your head down. But his hand rises, and the threat hangs heavy in the air. Then your mother steps forward, her voice soft, steady, full of quiet steel. She takes the blame. She shields you with nothing but her body and her dignity. He grumbles, curses, but lets it go, for now. And you feel the weight of guilt settle deep in your stomach, because every dream you chase risks the only thing you cannot bear to lose, her. Still, you cannot stop dreaming. That night, you return to the roof. The stars are brighter than ever, scattered like fire across a black canvas. You whisper to them, as if they might answer. You promise yourself that you will leave, that one day, you will break the invisible chains and take your mother with you. But as you stare, something stirs in the Force. A faint echo, a whisper you can't quite understand. It feels like destiny, like the galaxy itself is waiting for you to step into it. Your machines live, your stars call. But every dream sharpens the knife edge between hope and ruin, and the Force whispers again, faint, relentless, pulling you toward a future you cannot yet see. The first thing you hear is the scream of engines. They tear across the desert like wounded beasts, shrieking, snarling, spitting fire. The air itself vibrates with their rage, rattling in your bones. The smell is sharp, burnt fuel, singed metal, scorched sand. Heat waves shimmer above the canyon floor, as if the suns themselves lean closer to watch. And above it all, the crowd roars. Thousands of voices, alien tongues colliding into a single violent storm of sound. They chant names, hurl curses, place wagers that could change lives, or end them. This is not just sport. This is survival disguised as spectacle, and you are in the middle of it. You grip the controls of your pod racer, knuckles white, sweat dripping down your temple. The cockpit shudders beneath your hands, every bolt threatening to tear free. You built this machine from scraps, from pieces no sane mechanic would trust. But you trust it. You trust yourself, because you had no choice. Watto bet your future on this race. The gambler's bargain, your freedom, and your mother's freedom, hang on whether you can do what no other human child has ever done. Win. The other racers sneer as they glance your way. Their machines are larger, heavier, built with parts you've only seen in dreams. Sebulba snarls from his cockpit, tusks glinting, eyes full of cruelty. He's won more races than you can count, each victory stained with sabotage and blood. He spits in the sand, mocking the little slave boy who dares to line up beside him. You don't answer. You don't have to. Your silence is its own defiance. The announcer's voice booms across the canyon, stretched by static, swallowed by the roar of the crowd. The racers lower their visors. Engines growl like caged monsters, straining against the starting gates. Your heart pounds. Faster, louder, each beat echoing the thrum of your pod racer. The flag drops. The gates explode open. He world becomes fire. Engines roar as if the desert itself is tearing apart. Sand lashes your face. Your body slams against the cockpit as the pod racer surges forward. You grip the controls tighter, the machine bucking like it wants to throw you. You lean into the first turn. The canyon walls flash by, jagged rock threatening to slice you in half if you miscalculate by even a fraction. The force whispers in your ears, tugging at your hands, pulling at your instincts. Faster, sharper, trust it. You do. The pod racer obeys. But the race is chaos. Another pod slams against yours, metal screeching as sparks rain down. You bite your tongue, taste blood, wrestle the controls before the collision spins you out. Sebulba barrels past, his engines belching smoke, the heat of his machine clawing at your skin. He throws you a glance, a promise that he will not let you finish alive. You breathe deep. Focus. Every second is war. The desert shakes beneath you, dust clouds swallowing your vision, the heat choking your lungs. The other racers scream in fury and terror as machines crash, explode, and vanish in fireballs. The crowd cheers each death like bloodthirsty gods, but you do not look back. You can't, because you are still alive, and you are still racing. The second lap is worse. The pod racer rattles violently. The coupler you salvage threatens to break apart, wires straining, energy crackling dangerously close to overload. Your hands fly across the controls, repairing in motion, praying to the force, to the stars, to anyone who will listen. And somehow, impossibly, it holds. You surge forward again, past one racer, then another. The wind tears at your face, stings your eyes, but you don't blink, you don't breathe, you only fly. The force is louder now, guiding you through every twist, every impossible turn. You are not just driving this machine, you are becoming it. Sebulba is still ahead. The final lap. The canyon narrows into a death trap, jagged cliffs and razor-sharp turns designed to kill. Sebulba glances back, sneers, and then his pod veers sharply. A clank echoes. A chain has locked onto your engine. He is dragging you down, choking your machine, trying to kill you. The cockpit shakes violently, alarms screaming. Your pod racer lurches, metal screeching, flames licking at the couplers. The crowd gasps. Watto buries his face in his hands. But you do not panic. You feel the force, calm, cold, steady. You slam the throttle, lean into the chaos, and at the last second, you twist the controls. The chain snaps loose. Sparks explode across the desert as Sebulba's pod jerks violently. His engines twist, snarl, and then they tear themselves apart. Sebulba's pod erupts in fire. His scream vanishes into the roar of the explosion. And suddenly, you are free. The finish line looms ahead. Your pod racer shakes, battered, breaking, every part of it threatening to die before you cross. But you hold it steady, every muscle in your body burning, every breath a battle. The force roars through your veins, urging you forward, and then, silence. You cross. The crowd erupts. Thousands scream your name. The impossible has happened. The Salus Ave boy has won. You stagger out of the cockpit, legs trembling, lungs burning. Watto is shouting in disbelief, wings thrashing. He lost everything in his gamble, and you can see the fury in his eyes. But you don't care, because for the first time in your life, you are not a slave. Your mother rushes forward, tears streaking down her face. She holds you so tightly you can barely breathe, and in her voice you hear something you've never heard before. Hope. But even in victory, fear lingers, because deep down, you know this was no ordinary race. You felt the force guide your every move, save your life again and again. And if it could do that here, what else is it pulling you toward? You stare at the horizon, the sun sinking into the desert, and for the first time, the stars don't feel distant, they feel close, waiting. You have won, you are free, but freedom is never simple, and the force whispers still, darker, louder, pulling you toward a destiny that may cost you everything. The first thing you feel is silence. It presses down on you heavier than any chain, heavier than the heat of the twin suns. The desert seems to hold its breath, as if it knows the moment you are about to step into forever. The usual hum of pod racers, the rattle of droids, even the chatter of Mos Espa fades into a void. Only the distant clatter of engines dies into stillness. Then, the figure appears. A man, tall, cloaked in robes that ripple with every step, stands among the dunes. A lightsaber rests at his belt, not ignited, yet already pulsing with authority. His gaze finds you, really finds you. Not the slave boy, not the mechanic, not the child everyone has ignored. He sees you. And in that gaze, something shifts. Your chest tightens. Something hums beneath your skin. Not the roar of a pod racer, not the tremor of engines, but something older, deeper, the Force. You feel it, coiling in your veins, stretching your senses beyond the horizon. Machines you've built, races you've won, moments of instinct. They all suddenly make sense. It is not skill, it is destiny. You glance back at your mother. She is still kneeling by the moisture evaporator, hands pressed together as if in prayer. Her eyes are wide with fear and hope. You have never seen her like this, vulnerable, fragile, terrified of losing you to a world she cannot even imagine. The stranger approaches slowly. Each step is deliberate, measured, and you know he is testing you, not with words, but with presence. Anakin Skywalker, he says, voice calm yet piercing. You have the Force. The words echo in your skull, making your pulse thrum. Watto is shouting, flapping, angry, wings buzzing in disbelief. A bet lost, a slave gone, his entire sense of control unraveling like sand slipping through fingers. But the stranger ignores him. There is no room for greed here. There is only purpose. Your mother stands now, trembling. She reaches for your hand. Anakin, she whispers, voice cracking. Please, come back. You squeeze her hand once, twice. You do not speak, because even in this moment words feel inadequate. You want to promise her that you will return, but you know better. Nothing will ever be the same. The journey begins with a ride across the desert, in a ship unlike anything you've ever touched. The metal is smooth, humming softly, alive under your fingertips. The air smells of ozone and something faintly sweet, electric. Every vibration of the hull resonates through your bones, a reminder that you are leaving behind more than just sand. You look back once. Tatooine stretches into a mosaic of gold and crimson, the twin suns sinking into the dunes, the canyon where you raced, the junkyard where you built, the marketplace where children cried, all of it receding into memory. Your mother's figure is smaller now, a dot on the horizon. You feel her hands slipping away from yours forever, and grief, sharp and biting, floods your chest. You do not cry. You cannot. On the ship, the stranger sits across from you, calm, observing. He speaks of Jedi teachings, of balance, of destiny. The words are strange, heavy with promise and peril. You try to focus, but your mind keeps wandering. Balance? Destiny? You have never thought beyond survival. Freedom has always been the only goal. Yet something stirs in you, something bigger than pod racers, bigger than engines, bigger than sand. You imagine a galaxy of stars stretching endlessly. You imagine flying not just over deserts, but over worlds you cannot name, through battles you have only glimpsed in daydreams. And fear claws at your stomach, because destiny is unknown, and unknown is terrifying. The stranger watches you closely. He tests your reactions, your understanding of the Force, your instinct. Objects lift from the floor. A small droid wobbles, then rises. Your heart hammers. You feel exposed, powerful, afraid. Every emotion magnified in the silence of the cabin. You are strong, he says quietly, stronger than any Jedi has seen in generations, but strength without control is danger, to yourself and to others. You nod, though the meaning is not yet clear. You have always known power. You have always known that skill can bend reality, but control is a new idea, the kind that tastes like chains, but also like freedom. Night falls in space. The stars stretch infinitely, distant and cold. You stare at them, trying to memorize the shapes, the constellations. The ship hums beneath you, a gentle vibration that could lull you to sleep, but your mind races. Your mother's voice echoes in your memory, her warmth, her tears, the smell of the hut and sand and sweat, the life you leave behind. You reach for it in your mind, clutching it like a talisman, and the Force whispers again. Not loud, not yet, just a tremor in your veins, a shiver along your spine, a warning, a promise, a pull towards something inevitable, something that will demand more than you have ever imagined. The next day brings lessons, lightsaber forms, basic meditation, connection to the Force. The stranger watches, corrects, instructs. The sunlight filtering through the ship's canopy casts long shadows across your face. Every movement is mirrored by instinct, yet refined by guidance. You feel power stirring, coiling, waiting, but doubt is never far. You are small, untested, and still just a boy from a desert planet. Others, those Jedi you have only seen in stories, would mock your youth, your inexperience, and yet you sense that they will not understand you, not the way the Force does. You are both chosen and alone, and in those quiet moments, fear gnaws, because freedom comes at a price. You feel the tug of destiny, but the weight of your choices presses down. Every step away from Tatooine is a step into uncertainty. Every heartbeat is a wager. Your mother's hands slipping from yours are not just her loss. They are the loss of everything you have ever known. You close your eyes and feel the desert winds once more, the scent of sand and oil and heat still clinging to you. You are leaving it all behind, and you cannot go back. You are no longer just a slave. You are more than a boy with talent. The Force hums in your veins, the galaxy waits, and with each step away from Tatooine, the shadows of fate tighten around you. The first thing you notice is the smell. It is metallic, sterile, and faintly sweet. The scent of Coruscant's endless spires, of recycled air pumped through skyways and towers. It is nothing like the desert, nothing like Tatooine. No wind to carve the skin, no heat to weigh down your body. Instead, this city presses in around you, a glittering canyon of steel and light, and yet it cannot cleanse the dust from your soul. The transport lands atop a skyway platform, a thunderous vibration that resonates in your chest. You step onto the gleaming walkway, boots tapping against polished metal, eyes tracing the endless towers, the flying cars weaving like swarms of metallic insects. Coruscant dazzles. It promises freedom, knowledge, power, but inside, your heart is heavy. You are brought before the Jedi Council for the first time. They sit high in their chamber, faces serene, eyes piercing. Obi-Wan Kenobi's presence is calm, measured, a contrast to Qui-Gon Jinn's intense focus. They speak of the Force, of balance, of detachment, words meant to soothe, guide, instruct. But all you hear is a silent echo of Tatooine, your mother's face, her hands slipping from yours forever, her tears bright against the desert sun. They expect you to let go, to detach, to abandon the life that shaped you. You try, you practice, you meditate, you study, you smile in the hallways, bow politely, speak with confidence. But when night falls and the corridors are empty, the shadows stretch long and cold, and you are left alone with memories that burn brighter than the city lights. The chambers are quiet, but not empty. The hum of the Force is constant, and you can feel it threading through every corner of the temple. It whispers in your veins, reminding you that you are powerful, special, and yet, power cannot replace the warmth of a mother's embrace. It cannot replace the scent of sand, sweat, and the sound of the twin suns settling behind dunes. Every day, you carry her absence like a weight chained to your chest. You walk through the training halls. Padawans rush past you, their movements precise, their expressions serene. You nod, exchange words, but their discipline is foreign. You want it, you crave it, but your mind keeps drifting, always back to Tatooine, always to her. The training is grueling. Lightsaber drills, Force exercises, meditation that demands you empty your heart of attachment. You try, you fail, you try again. Every mistake echoes in your ears like a whisper of judgment. Too young, too emotional, too bound. And the council watches, patient, expectant. Obi-Wan approaches one day during lightsaber practice. You must learn control, he says softly, though firm. Fear, anger, attachment, they will cloud your judgment. You nod, but the words do not comfort, because control is not what you feel. What you feel is longing, grief, love, the fear that if you let go, you might lose the memory of her entirely. Every night, you dream. Her face appears in your sleep, luminous, pleading, fading with every blink. You wake with your pillow damp with sweat, chest tight, lungs heaving, and yet, the Jedi teachings insist, detach, let go, be empty. Coruscant glitters outside your window, a city of endless light and infinite noise. The skyways pulse with motion, the hum of traffic, the chatter of beings from countless worlds. From this height, the galaxy seems beautiful, ordered, perfect, and yet you are alone. The Force pulses faintly in your veins, guiding, warning, whispering that you are destined for greatness. But greatness feels hollow when you cannot reach back for what you love most. The chains of memory are invisible, but no less heavy. You move through the temple corridors, glancing at others who seem at peace. Jedi masters, fellow apprentices, all molded, disciplined, serene. And you feel like sand slipping through fingers, unfinished, raw, torn between two worlds, one of light, one of longing, one of duty, one of love. You find yourself on a balcony one evening, staring over the city. The air is thin and electric. Starships streak past like glowing arrows, leaving trails of light in their wake. The Force hums through your hands, as if it knows the turmoil inside you. You try to reach for it, to focus, to find solace. But the image of your mother dominates your mind. The smell of Tatooine sand, the harsh wind, the scalding suns, the warmth of her hands when she held yours, the weight of hope she laid upon you. And you realize detachment is impossible, because attachment is not weakness. Attachment is memory. It is love. It is the chain that you carry willingly, even as the Jedi demand its severing. A mission is assigned, a training exercise on a distant world. You are instructed to meditate, to empty yourself of desire, to let go of fear. You try. The desert of your mind does not respond. You see only Tatooine, only her, only the pain of leaving. You close your eyes. The Force hums, gentle but persistent. You focus. You lift an object, a rock, small, insignificant, and feel it respond to your command. Small victories, yet your heart aches. Each triumph reminds you of what you cannot undo, the loss you carry, the chains that remain. Night falls again. The city lights glow below like a sea of fireflies, endless and cold. You sit alone in your quarters, hands resting, on your knees. The Force is quiet, almost waiting. You sense the other apprentices dreaming, their minds free of grief, free of longing. But your mind is a storm of memory and fear, hope and despair. You realize that this weight, this grief, this love, is part of you. It will shape every choice, every battle, every victory, every failure. You cannot discard it. You would not. Coruscant sparkles like a jewel, infinite, magnificent, blinding. Yet inside the desert burns, the twin suns sear, and the memory of your mother chains you still. The Jedi speak of detachment, but you know that some bonds cannot be broken, and the Force hums, darker now, tugging at the chains of your heart, whispering that attachment may be both your strength and your undoing. The first thing you hear is the hiss, a soft, electric, searing hiss that cuts through the cavernous training hall like a blade through cloth. The lightsabers hum, swing and clash, echoes ricocheting off polished stone walls, bouncing through corridors, rattling in your chest. The scent of ozone and scorched metal hangs heavy in the air, mingling with sweat and the faint perfume of wood polish from the floor. Every strike, every miss, every thud of saber on saber vibrates through your bones. You grip your own hilt tighter, fingers trembling despite your resolve. You are small among legends, a boy barely out of childhood, yet your heart pounds like it will tear you from the floor. This is the Jedi Temple, and you are learning what it truly means to be powerful. Your first partner, a fellow youngling, swings a saber in a clean arc. You stumble. The metal bites air. Sparks flicker dangerously close to your hand. The Force hums faintly. A warning, a guide, but it is subtle, not enough to prevent the sharp sting of failure. You taste blood, tiny, metallic, hot. You blink it away. No one notices, not really. The hall is full of others like you, apprentices, initiates, each locked in their own battle with fear and ambition. But you cannot stop. You cannot falter. You rise. Again, again. The mantra of training, repetition, perfection. Every mistake is a lesson. Every failure sharpens the edge of your skill. And yet no matter how much you rise, greatness feels just beyond your reach. The older apprentices move like shadows. They are elegant, precise, disciplined. Their sabers flicker like lightning, arcs of pure light that you cannot hope to match. Not yet. You watch, absorb, imitate, but impatience gnaws at you. Your muscles ache, your lungs burn, and your heart thrums with frustration. You are fast, stronger than most, but speed and strength alone do not make mastery. Technique, patience, discipline. These are what the Jedi cultivate. And you? You are all fire, barely tamed. You clash with one of them, a boy 2 years older, more practiced. The first strike knocks you to the floor. Sparks fly. The Force whispers to steady, to breathe, to wait. You do not. You lunge again, faster, harder. A brilliant swing connects. You hear it, metal against metal, then feel it in your shoulders, arms, back. Pain is sharp, but victory tastes sweeter. The other boy glares. You grin. Pride surges, dangerous and intoxicating. The masters watch from above. Their eyes are calm, unflinching, yet you feel them piercing through you. Qui-Gon Jinn sometimes passes, his presence almost invisible, yet you know he is assessing, judging, expecting. Obi-Wan Kenobi observes, steady, patient, but his gaze carries warning. Every move you make is measured, tested, logged in some unseen ledger of the Force, and you feel it. Expectation, burden, pressure. A fire stoked not by anger, but by destiny. Days blur into nights. Training is endless. Meditation, lightsaber forms, Force exercises, physical drills that push your body to exhaustion. Your hands blister from grips, muscles ache in unfamiliar ways, bones scream with fatigue. You fall, you rise, you strike again. Repetition becomes rhythm, rhythm becomes instinct. You feel the Force respond, subtle at first, then louder, guiding your hands, tipping your balance, pulling you toward perfection. But the fire inside you does not fade. It burns brighter, hotter, a coiled flame that threatens to consume patience, caution, detachment, the very lessons the Jedi try to instill. You do not mind, because fire is your ally, your weapon, your identity. You spar with multiple younglings at once, moving in a blur. You slip once, twice, stumble, nearly fall, but each time you correct yourself. Your saber slices through air, sparks explode where it collides with another. The hall vibrates with power, the Force thrumming in harmony with each clash. You hear the cheers and murmurs of peers, faint under the roar of the lightsabers. But they matter little. You are aware only of motion, energy, and instinct. And yet, frustration lingers. No matter how fast, how strong, how precise, you are never enough. Every success is tempered by another challenge. Every lesson mastered reveals a new flaw. You hunger for greatness, but greatness is a moving target, always just beyond reach. The masters intervene. "Control, Anakin," Obi-Wan says, his voice calm but firm. "Power without control is dangerous. You will learn to temper your strength with patience, or it will betray you." You nod, though your jaw tightens. Control, patience, words that feel like chains, constraints on a fire that refuses to be tamed. You try, you fail, you try again. The saber is heavy, your body aches, yet the fire inside you refuses to wane. Qui-Gon Jinn approaches during a break. He studies you quietly, eyes intense. "Your power is unmatched in a generation," he says. "But power alone will not make you a Jedi. You must learn restraint, empathy, focus, or it will consume you." You hear the warning, but you also hear the challenge, and the fire inside you roars. Night training is different. The temple corridors are empty, save for the soft hum of lightsabers in practice rooms. Shadows stretch long, and the polished floors reflect your solitary figure. You move like lightning, striking, parrying, pivoting, every muscle coiled, every step precise. Sweat drips, your grip blisters, but the Force guides each movement. You pause, breath ragged, heart pounding. Your reflection in the polished floor stares back, eyes burning with intensity, a fire unquenched. You realize something terrifying. You are not just learning, you are changing. The power inside you is not meant to be contained. It is meant to break limits, and you welcome it. A sparring match escalates. Another youngling attacks with ferocity, faster than you anticipate. You parry, lunge, misstep, nearly topple. Sparks explode where blades meet. The Force hums, guiding, warning. You feel your instincts sharpen, responding before thought, reacting before fear can root itself. Then a mistake, a swing too wide, a balance lost. The other saber cuts across your shoulder. Pain flares. Blood. You stagger, vision narrowing, but do not falter. Every fiber of your body screams to strike back, to dominate, to prove you belong. You do. Victory is yours, but fleeting, because every fight reveals another challenge, another limit, another fire to master. Later in meditation, you reflect, sitting cross-legged in the quiet chamber, lightsabers stored, the hum of the temple distant but present. You feel the fire in your chest. It is not just ambition. It is rage at weakness, fear of failure, desire to surpass every expectation, pride too, that you can rise again and again. But it is also loneliness. You are exceptional, yes, but exceptional comes with isolation. The other younglings respect you, but they cannot understand you. The masters instruct, guide, sometimes scold, but the fire in you cannot be tamed by words alone. You close your eyes and let the force flow through you. Strength, speed, precision, it responds, but the fire remains, unyielding, unbroken, and you realize, this is only the beginning. The temple walls echo with the clash of sabers. You are stronger, faster, deadlier, but greatness is never enough. The fire inside you burns hotter than control, louder than patience, and the galaxy itself seems to lean closer, watching, waiting, and you wonder, will the fire consume you, or will you wield it as a weapon against destiny itself? The first thing you notice is the warmth. Not the warmth of Coruscant's sun piercing through the temple's vast windows, nor the heat of training sparring under flickering lights. This warmth is quieter, yet sharper, crawling along your skin, turning your blood into fire. It is in her gaze, the way her eyes find yours across crowded corridors, across endless lessons, across the silence of meditation chambers. They linger, they pierce, they question without words. And for the first time, the discipline you've honed, the control you've forced yourself to master, falters. She appears at the edge of the training hall, robes flowing, hair catching the ambient light like strands of gold. She is elegant, composed, yet the slightest tremor in her fingers betrays nerves. You notice everything, the tilt of her head, the subtle arch of an eyebrow, the way her presence makes the air heavier around you. The force hums in response, faintly, almost warningly. You try to look away. You should. Jedi rules are clear. Attachment is forbidden. Love is dangerous. Distraction can be fatal. And yet, your eyes are drawn to her again and again. Nights come with a new kind of peril. The temple sleeps. Corridors empty, but for your steps echoing against polished stone. The hum of lightsabers stored in racks is a faint thrum beneath your boots. You meet her in shadows. Quiet halls illuminated only by the glow of the city below. The distant stars of Coruscant. Her voice is a whisper. You shouldn't be here. And yet, you are here. You draw closer, heart hammering, pulse betraying every ounce of control you fought for. Her hand finds yours. Fingers brush, trembling, hesitant, electric. The air between you crackles like static before a storm. Every instinct screams caution, yet every heartbeat urges surrender. You taste the thrill of rebellion, each stolen glance, each whispered word, each brush of fingers against skin is a secret act of defiance. The Jedi teachings of detachment, of duty over desire, become chains you chafe against. You are disciplined, yes, powerful, yes, but this is fire of a different kind. The fire of desire, of longing, of intimacy, forbidden by law and morality alike, and you cannot resist. She smiles. It is brief, fleeting, but it lingers in your mind long after the corridor empties, long after your fingers part. The scent of her hair, the warmth of her skin, the faintest trace of perfume. It follows you into your meditation chamber, into your dreams, into the quiet moments when you are alone. You try to meditate, to focus, to channel the force, but every time you close your eyes, her face appears. Every mantra you repeat echoes with the memory of her touch. Your control, once a shield, now feels brittle, porous, incapable of holding back the storm inside. Training takes on new intensity. Every swing of the saber, every physical drill is sharper, faster, more precise. Not because of the master's guidance, not solely because of the force, but because you are trying to prove something, to yourself, to her, to the universe, that you are not just a boy from Tatooine. You are someone worthy, someone powerful, someone irresistible. But the more you strive, the more dangerous it becomes. Every step outside your lessons, every heartbeat racing for her instead of discipline, is a step closer to ruin. You meet in corners of the temple, in quiet alcoves, under the hum of ventilation shafts. Each moment is borrowed. Each touch is a risk. You laugh softly, whisper softly, tremble with the thrill of being caught. Her lips meet yours in shadows. You remember the desert nights, the twin suns, your mother's hands, but they fade beneath the intensity of now. Desire, forbidden and sharp, consumes you. It is intoxicating and terrifying. The Force reacts. In quiet moments, when you lift objects or sense distant presences, the Force hums differently, tense, taut, aware. It warns you of imbalance, whispers that attachment can be weakness, whispers that love can become rage, that longing can become obsession. And yet, it also sharpens you, focuses your senses, drives you to mastery, because desire fuels instinct, and instinct fuels power. You feel it in every muscle, every heartbeat, every swing of your saber. But fear creeps in. You cannot stop thinking of consequences. One glance from the masters, one intercepted message, one rumor, everything could unravel in an instant. Duty hangs over you like a shadowed blade. You wrestle with loyalty to the Jedi code and loyalty to what pulses alive in your chest, and you realize there is no easy path, no moral clarity, just fire, desire, and the ever-present risk of burning everything you've built. The city below is alive with lights. Coruscant sprawls endlessly, a glittering hive of motion, ambition, and politics. You think of your mother, of Tatooine, of deserts left behind, but they are distant now, swallowed by the city and by her gaze. Every time you see her, every time your hands brush, every time her voice reaches your ears, the chains of duty tighten, but the chains of passion pull just as hard, and you understand. Balance is impossible. A night arrives when hesitation fails you. You are cornered, a corridor silent, lit only by the glow of distant city lights. She steps close, and this time you do not hesitate. Hands entwine, lips meet, a stolen rebellion in the quiet of the Jedi temple. Every sense sharpens, the heat of her skin, the taste of her lips, the sound of your own heartbeat, erratic, unrestrained. Shadows fall across the walls, echoing, witnessing, and you feel alive in a way the Force alone has never granted. But even ecstasy is tinged with dang. Or you know in the deepest part of your mind that this love is forbidden, that attachment, no matter how sincere, carries consequences. You remember Obi-Wan's words, Qui-Gon's warnings. You remember the whispered fears, the sense of destiny that has been growing since Tatooine. And now it intertwines with desire, a combustible mixture of power and vulnerability, and that mixture terrifies you. You return to training the next day, hands steady, muscles sharp, but your mind is elsewhere. Every swing of the saber, every step, every breath is measured against the memory of her touch, her gaze, her forbidden smile. The masters notice your brilliance, your agility, your precision, but also the tension, the hunger behind your movements. And you know they suspect, though they say nothing. The Force whispers warnings at night. You meditate, trying to control the surge of emotion, the heat of desire, the wildfire of attachment. The shadows of the temple stretch long and watch silently. Every brush of her hand, every kiss, every glance leaves its mark on your spirit. You feel it in the Force, in your dreams, in the sleepless hours before dawn. You are both disciplined and consumed, balanced and precarious. You have tasted rebellion, stolen in the quiet of shadows. Love has found you, fierce and forbidden. Every heartbeat is a risk, every touch a spark in a dry forest. And you know, deep in your soul, this fire will either fuel your destiny or burn everything you have ever been taught to value. The first thing you smell is fire. Not a controlled flame, not the incense of the temple, not the heat of a summer sun. This is acrid, bitter, choking. Smoke curls through your mask as you sprint across the cratered surface of a war-torn world. Explosions shake the ground beneath you, throwing grit and ash into the air, coating your lungs with grit that burns, coats your throat, your tongue, your chest. You taste it, and it tastes of death. Blaster fire screams past your head. Metal shrieks. Screams of soldiers, human and alien, echo through the chaos. The air vibrates with the sound of engines, starships tearing overhead, laser blasts cutting through the sky like streaks of furious light. Every step is unsteady, yet instinct drives you forward. This is war, and you are no longer a boy in a temple. Your lightsaber hums to life, a solid streak of energy against the smoke. Blue light slices the darkness, illuminating charred walls, fractured vehicles, and fallen soldiers. The Force pulses through you, strong, raw, guiding. You move as one with it, ducking, spinning, striking. Every enemy you face becomes both a threat and a challenge. Every swing of your saber is precise, deadly, beautiful in its terrible elegance. Yet even in triumph, you feel the hollow echo inside. For every battle won, every clone trooper who survives because of your skill, there is a cost. Blood stains your hands. Blood spills on your path. Blood coats the ground. Faces flash in your mind. Soldiers, civilians, allies, enemies, all reduced to shadows in your memory. The Republic hails you as hero, but no title can erase the screams, the fire, the choking ash. The first time you kill, it is unlike any lesson in the temple. Lightsabers cut through droids, yes, but now the stakes are human. Every swing carries weight. Every parry is a life saved or lost. You hesitate once, and the hesitation costs a soldier. Or the Force shivers in warning, pulling your instincts taut, demanding precision, demanding resolve. You strike again, faster, harder, and the moment passes. But the memory lingers. War is not glory. War is fire, smoke, and the bitter taste of power mingled with guilt. You move through city streets, once vibrant, now shattered, smoldering. Buildings hang like broken teeth against a gray sky, windows shattered, walls scarred by blaster fire. Civilians flee wherever they can. Clones march in disciplined ranks, their armor dented, weapons raised. Every face you pass is masked, hidden, uniform, but each carries fear, exhaustion, and the heavy knowledge that survival is never guaranteed. You feel their fear, their trust, their reliance on you. The Force amplifies it. Every heartbeat echoes through your senses. And yet, amidst the order, chaos reigns. Explosions flare in alleyways. Starships crash. Fires roar in defiance of the night sky. Your training in the temple was rigorous, but it never prepared you for this. Meditation does not soothe the terror, nor the hours of lightsaber practice steel you against the screams of the dying. Every lesson about control, focus, discipline, they are tested here, in fire, in smoke, in blood. You move, strike, defend, lead, but every action leaves a mark, not on your body, though bruises, burns, and scars accumulate, but on your soul. You begin to feel the first fractures forming, subtle at first, like hairline cracks in crystal. Pride fights against exhaustion, anger fights against restraint, fear fights against duty, and you realize that the boy who arrived at the Jedi Temple, hungry for mastery, is gone. War reshapes you. Blaster fire echoes from above as a droid battalion charges through the ruined streets. You leap, force pushed over rubble, landing with a grunt. Sparks from a nearby droid shower your arm, sizzling against your robes. Instinct takes over. Strike, parry, spin, leap. Every motion precise yet fluid, deadly. You feel exhilaration and horror all at once. Victory tastes sweet, but it is bitter in the back of your throat. The Force hums, a cold, quiet whisper. Power is not enough. Control is not enough. Death is everywhere, and it will follow you. Amid the chaos, you glimpse them, clone troopers caught in crossfire, pinned down, weapons smoking. You rush forward. Lightsaber swings, blaster bolts deflected. You lift rubble, push shields, guide them through the flames. Their gratitude is brief, overshadowed by fear as the next wave of droids approaches. Each life saved feels like a triumph and a failure. For every person you rescue, more are lost. And with every loss, a seed of darkness takes root in your mind. Why must they die? Why not me? Why not them all? Explosions rock the street. A building collapses nearby, debris flying. You dive, roll, rise, and strike again. The Force guides your hands, your feet, your breath. Time slows, sharpens, compresses. Each movement, a calculation. Each decision matters. Life and death hang in balance. And in that moment, you understand why the Republic calls you hero. You are a weapon, efficient, deadly, necessary. But necessity is hollow without peace, without justice, without certainty. And the longer the war rages, the more that certainty slips through your fingers. You meet countless enemies, battle droids, separatist leaders, merciless tacticians. You fight with skill, with fire, with precision. Yet for every victory, the Force whispers a warning. Power is not justice. Power is not peace. power is not enough. At night, when the battlefield quiets and smoke lingers like a heavy shroud, you sit alone. The stars above, distant and cold, offer no comfort. You feel the weight of every life taken, every life spared. You remember Tatooine, your mother, the Jedi Temple, your secret rebellion of love, and you realize, war changes everything. The Republic celebrates your deeds. Holotransmissive. Ions broadcast your heroics. Senators praise your courage. Jedi Masters nod satisfied. But beneath the accolades, the medals, the recognition, you feel hollow. Fire rages outside. Fire burns within, and you know the scars of battle are invisible, etched into your soul, carried in silence. You wonder if the boy who left Tatooine, who dreamed of stars and freedom, would even recognize the man now standing amid ash and smoke. A sudden barrage throws you to the ground. Sparks ignite in the air. A droid falls. Another rises. The Force hums fiercely, guiding your next move. You leap, roll, strike. Lightsaber arcs through chaos, slicing, deflecting, protecting. Adrenaline floods your veins. Power courses. You are unstoppable. And yet, the hollow echo persists. For every life saved, every enemy defeated, every heroic maneuver remembered, you feel the sting of loss, of inevitability. War is not just fought on battlefields, it is fought inside you, in the shadows of your heart, in the whispers of the Force that warn of darkness yet to come. The sky is streaked with fire, ash, and smoke. You stand atop a ruined spire, surveying the battlefield below. Clone troopers march onward, droids fall in heaps, starships blaze trails of destruction. The galaxy screams, you have survived, you have triumphed. And yet, every victory feels hollow. Every cheer from the Republic is muted in your ears. You are alive, yes, but at what cost? The Force hums deep and low, warning of choices yet to be made, of paths yet to be taken. The fire within you burns brighter, hotter, hungrier. And in the midst of ash and smoke, you taste it. Power, triumph, sorrow, and the first sting of fear. Because this is only the beginning. The Clone Wars rage across the galaxy, consuming worlds, hearts, and souls. You are a hero, a weapon, a symbol, but the victories leave scars unseen, echoing in your chest and whispering, hung in the Force. And you sense it. War will not just shape your destiny, it will carve it into something darker, something unstoppable. The first thing you notice is the roar. It rises like a tide, deafening, impossible to ignore. Senators clap, clone troopers cheer, and the people of the Republic hail your name across hollow screens, stretching through the galaxy. You are a hero, a symbol of hope amidst fire and ruin. The mask of accomplishment feels heavy yet familiar, pressed tight across your face to hide the fatigue, the doubt, the shadows beneath. You taste the sweetness of praise, yet bitter undertones linger. Walking through the grand halls of the Jedi Temple, the polished floors reflecting your every step, you hear the whispers before you see them. Footfalls too soft to be noticed, murmurs that curl like smoke around your ears. He is reckless, too young to bear such power. His pride could be his downfall. The Force hums in caution, faint but insistent. You can feel the currents of doubt slithering through the council chambers, tangling with your own. Every compliment now carries weight. Every cheer feels like a chain. The galaxy looks at you and sees perfection, heroism, victory. The council sees potential disaster. Obi-Wan Kenobi approaches, his face a mask of calm, but eyes sharp, questioning. Your skill is undeniable, Anakin, he says, voice measured. But skill alone does not make a Jedi trustworthy. Temper your pride with patience. Temper your victories with humility. You nod, yet inwardly bristle. Pride has always driven you, shaped you, lifted you above doubt, above failure. It is both shield and weapon. And now, it has become a poison, seeping through the cracks of your resolve. The Senate applauds, hollow-screened across countless systems. You feel the pulse of their admiration, electric and intoxicating. They see a young Jedi, fearless, unmatched, a savior of worlds. You walk past them, head held high, robes flowing, lightsaber sheathed but aura sharp. Their eyes are wide, full of awe, full of hope, and yet The whispers follow. You sit in the council chambers, surrounded by masters whose robes and faces carry centuries of wisdom. They praise your victories, nod at your skill, and yet the questions come. Are you truly ready to bear this responsibility? Do you trust your own judgment above the code? Do your emotions cloud your vision? Each question pricks at the armor of your pride. Each doubt scratches at the edges of your confidence. You feel the sting of scrutiny, sharp and relentless. The mask you wear to hide uncertainty feels heavier here than anywhere else. Every nod, every response, is calculated, precise, but beneath it, your pulse quickens, your hands itch for motion, for the clarity of action over words. You leave the chambers and the corridors hum with echoes of your own footsteps. The force is restless around you, attuned to every flicker of hesitation, every shadow of doubt. You sense the fear, the hope, the expectations of countless lives resting on your shoulders. You are a symbol, yes, but even symbols are fragile. You want to shout, to swing your saber and prove yourself, to tear the mask off and let the fire inside define you. But decorum, discipline, the Jedi way, these chains bind you. And yet, the temptation of rebellion thrums in your veins. Training is no longer sanctuary, it is stage. Every movement you make, every swing of your saber, is watched. Younglings, peers, and masters alike observe, consciously or not, measuring, weighing, comparing. You are flawless on the surface, every strike precise, every stance controlled, every motion a study in perfection. But inside, your thoughts spiral, the council doubts, the Republic watches, and somewhere in the quiet, a fire burns, anger at those who question you, frustration at the constraints placed upon your talent, fear that greatness will never be enough. The compliments cut differently now. Extraordinary work, Anakin. Bravery beyond your years. You are the hope of the Republic. They sound like accolades, yet in the echo, you hear the whisper, are you truly worthy? You walk through the temple gardens alone, the night air heavy with scent of blooming noctilum flowers. Cool shadows fall across your face, masking the tension in your jaw, the way your fists clench and unclench. The stars above Coruscant seem indifferent, distant. You crave approval, yet you crave freedom from it even more. You crave action, decisive and unrestrained, not measured words or cautious praise. Qui-Gon Jinn's voice echoes in memory. Power is only as dangerous as the heart that wields it. The truth of those words gnaws at you now. Power has always defined you. Skill has always elevated you, and yet the Council's doubt is a knife at the edges of your confidence. Pride has kept you alive, driven you to excel, but pride is also a mask. You wear it so others will see courage, so others will trust you, but beneath it lies insecurity, impatience, and a hunger for recognition that will never be satisfied. And that hunger is dangerous. You are sent to mediate a conflict on a contested world. Blaster fire erupts even before you arrive. You act decisively, slicing through chaos with the grace and ferocity of a seasoned warrior. Citizens are saved, clones are guided, separatists fall, and when the dust clears, applause rings out from both soldiers and civilians. You are the hero once again, yet the Force whispers, your victories are not proof of trust. They are proof of fire, and fire burns indiscriminately. You feel the weight of those words deep in your chest, beneath the thrill of triumph. The applause fades, leaving only shadowed doubt. Whispers turn into confrontation. Back at the temple, a council master corners you in the hall. Anakin, your coup. Rage is matched only by recklessness, they say. Every victory you claim leaves unseen scars. Every battle you fight is a gamble with lives you barely understand. Pride can blind even the strongest of Jedi. Beware. You feel your cheeks flush, heat coiling in your stomach. You want to argue, to lash out, to prove your worth, but you say nothing. You bow, measured, respectful, and walk away. But the words sting, leaving behind the taste of venom. Night comes, quiet and heavy. You stand alone on a balcony overlooking the city. Coruscant glitters beneath you, lights endless, hypnotic, indifferent. The mask slips, just for a moment. Doubt claws at you, sharp and insistent. You see the faces of those who trust you, those who doubt you, those who fear you. You see yourself reflected in the polished metal of the railing, face sharp, eyes intense, mouth set, and for the first time you feel the true weight of your role. You are hero and weapon, savior and destroyer, admired and feared, praised and doubted, and the mask you wear, your shield, your armor, your identity, is cracking. You are celebrated, yet questioned. The galaxy hails your victories, the council doubts your judgment, trust twists into suspicion, pride shields you but it also poisons you. And as you stand alone, staring into the glittering abyss of Coruscant, you feel it. Every act of heroism is also a step closer to shadow. The mask is slipping, and soon the world will see the fire behind it. The first thing you hear is her scream. It pierces the darkness, jagged and raw, echoing in your mind long after your eyes snap open. Your chest heaves, sweat coating your skin, your palms slick on the sheets. The dream lingers, a poison, a shadow stretching over every corner of your consciousness. You can still feel her hands slipping from yours, warm fingers turning cold, her eyes wide with fear, pleading for salvation you cannot give, and you cannot escape it. Night after night, it comes. The force stirs restlessly as you toss and turn. Shadows crawl along the walls of your quarters, twisted and menacing. Every flicker of light from the city below seems like a judgment. Every hum of Coruscant's night machinery like a whisper. You cannot save her. You awaken to her voice, her face, her laugh, and then the dream, twisted, burning, unbearable. She is dying. You are powerless. You rise from your bed, robes falling in heavy folds. The cool night air from the balcony hits your skin, grounding you, but only briefly. The city sprawls endlessly beneath you, glittering like 1,000 distant stars. You should feel relief, distance, clarity, but instead, every light feels cold, indifferent, a mockery of the life she might have lived. You reach out with the force, seeking her presence, any sign of life, any warmth to chase away the nightmare. Nothing responds but the hum of emptiness, a void pressing against your chest. Memories intertwine with visions. You see her, alive and laughing, brushing your arm lightly, her hair catching the sun like gold. You hear her voice in corridors of the temple, in the quiet of meditation chambers, in stolen moments you had allowed yourselves. Then, as if twisted by the force itself, the laughter warps into screams. Her light dims. Her eyes widen in terror. You are frozen. You cannot move. The force trembles around you, warning, urging, whisper. In tones you've never heard before. It is raw, desperate, insistent. She is in danger. She is dying. Save her. You strike out, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Hands clench, fists trembling, lightsaber igniting even as you are alone. Every muscle wants to move. Every instinct wants to leap across star systems, through time itself, to snatch her from the edge of death. You feel rage, untempered, flowing through your veins, a fire that burns hotter than any duel, any battlefield. And yet, the nightmare does not relent. You remember the first time she looked at you with fear. Not fear of you, not fear of discipline, but fear of loss, of inevitability. And now, in your dreams, the inevitability has arrived. Blood blossoms across her robes, her hands clutching yours as she gasps, each breath a struggle. Your heart pounds, shattering with every faltering inhale. Every cry rips through you. Every tear is a blade slicing at your soul. You would give anything to stop it. You awaken again, drenched in sweat, the force trembling around you. The night feels heavier. The shadows of your quarters grow long and oppressive. You feel the pull of desperation, the gnawing at your core that has been growing since you first left Tatooine. Love, once a gentle fire, has become wildfire, dangerous, consuming, unrelenting. You cannot bear the thought of loss. Not again, not her. You pace the room. Every step is measured, deliberate, but your mind races. You think of every warning, every lesson, every meditation, patience, detachment, control. None of it can hold back the fear. You want to scream, to lash out, to shatter the walls of the temple and the galaxy itself. The force hums, taut, warning you of imbalance, yet also feeding your determination. You have power, but not yet the power to stop what you see in your dreams. And still, the image returns. Her hands, slipping, fingers cold, her lips whispering your name, her eyes wide, pleading. You reach toward her, but the space between dream and reality yawns impossibly wide. Every attempt to pull her back fails. Every heartbeat is a hammer of guilt and terror. The Force twists inside you, amplifying both power and panic. You are alone. She is dying. The memory of her love sharpens the agony. You remember the stolen moments, the whispers in corridors, the trembling touches in shadows. Every kiss, every laugh, every fleeting warmth, it now feels like a cruel mirage. You cling to it, desperate, yet it is ephemeral, slipping through your grasp like water through fingers. And the Force, patient but insistent, whispers again, "This is not the end. The choice is not yours yet." But the darkness waits. Darkness. The word lingers in your mind. It is not a dream, not entirely. It is a warning. It is a promise. The pain of love, of loss, can be a door, an entrance you may not wish to cross, yet the path is there. You seek action. Meditation offers no solace. Training offers no release. Missions blur into one another, yet in each you see her face, hear her cries. You fight with unmatched skill, slicing through enemies, guiding clone troopers, protecting worlds. But the shadow in your heart grows heavier. Each victory feels hollow. Each applause rings false. Each accolade a reminder that no external praise can save what haunts your dreams. And the nightmares do not stop. One night, on a remote battlefield, you close your eyes and see it again. The wind carries smoke and ash from burning structures. Fires flare, painting the night in orange and black. In the midst of destruction, she lies on the gi, round, lifeless, her hair matted, her hands reaching for you. You run, lightsaber drawn, Force propelling you across rubble and ruin. But every step seems slower, every movement hindered by invisible chains. You reach her, and yet she is gone. Always gone. The Force whispers of inevitability, of limits, and you realize, love, even the purest, can demand a cost that cannot be paid. You awaken one final time, face damp with sweat, lungs burning from panic, heart pounding like a war drum. The city below sleeps unaware. The stars above are cold witnesses. You clutch your head, tasting fear, tasting rage, tasting despair. Love has become terror. Devotion has become obsession. The Force trembles with your emotion, warning you that the path you tread is both dangerous and seductive. You vow, silently, fiercely, "I will not lose her. I will do anything." And in that vow, the first tendrils of darkness coil around your heart. You have seen her die, in dreams, in shadows, in memory. Love has transformed into terror. Fear claws at your soul. Rage courses through your veins, and the Force hums with dark promise. You would give anything, sacrifice everything to prevent the inevitable. And as the night closes around you, you sense it. Your path is diverging, and darkness waits patiently for the first misstep. The dream is only the beginning. The first thing you notice is the silence. It is not peaceful, not comforting. It is deliberate, heavy, pressing against your skull like the quiet before a storm. The temple corridors are empty, polished floors glinting faintly under the moonlight streaming through high windows. Every echo of your footsteps feels amplified, unnatural, as if the Force itself has leaned in, listening. And then the voice begins, smooth, subtle, like silk sliding across steel. Power. Knowledge, freedom. It whispers. It coils around you, curling into your thoughts, brushing aside your doubts, brushing aside your discipline. The words are soft, yet heavy with promise. You freeze, breath shallow, heart hammering. You have heard of the dark side. Legends, warnings, whispered tales from the council. They speak of temptation, as if it is a disease to be avoided, a shadow that creeps into hearts already fragile. You know the rules. You have trained to resist, to discipline your emotions, to master the Force without allowing desire, fear, or anger to dominate. And yet, the voice persists, silky and persistent. You can save her, you can protect those you love. The Jedi bind you, they do not free you. I can give you what they never will. Her face flashes in your mind, the woman you cannot lose, the cries that haunt your nights, the dreams that twist love into terror. And suddenly, desire sharpens into hunger. Fear has become a tool, and you feel the first thrilling pull toward the power that promises to banish it forever. You pace the temple gardens, cloaked in night. The noctilum blooms exhale their faint perfume, sweet and heavy in the air. Shadows lengthen around you, and the Force whispers in tension and temptation, brushing at the edges of your mind. You sense it, the potential, the knowledge, the forbidden. It is a promise wrapped in danger, a serpent coiled at the edge of your consciousness. The Jedi fear what you can become, it hisses. You can be more. You can do what they only dream of. You clench your fists, knuckles white. Your pulse races, breath ragged, and yet there is an intoxicating thrill in the idea of breaking the chains. Everything you have been taught to reject, the hunger, the pride, the rage, now feels like a tool, a key to a power that could protect, elevate, destroy, or create. The city of Coruscant sleeps below, unaware of the storm brewing within you. You walk the rooftops, senses acute, the force humming through your veins like a living thing. Every step, every motion is measured, yet inside, chaos thrums. The silk voice grows louder, not in sound, but in weight, brushing your mind, testing your resolve. Every Jedi lesson, every meditation, every cautionary tale, their significance fades in the shadow of potential. You are tempted, and fear, your constant companion, twists itself into a blade. Fear for her, fear for the Republic, fear for your own inadequacy. Fear has become hunger, and hunger demands satisfaction. Memories of the Council's doubts flash like lightning. You are reckless. Your pride blinds you. Your attachments are dangerous. The words sting, echoing long after the speakers have left. And now the voice takes them, reshapes them, wraps them in honeyed poison. They cannot see your strength. They fear it. I can teach you what they hide, what they forbid. I can give you freedom from their doubt. You hesitate. Every instinct screams warning. Every lesson of patience, restraint, and humility fights the pull. And yet, the promise of power, of liberation from fear and loss, claws at your mind like a living thing. You find yourself in a meditation chamber, empty and silent, yet the force around you thrums with tension. The voice slides into your awareness, intimate, seductive. You can end the pain. You can save her. You can seize the future and bend it to your will. Power waits. Reach. You close your eyes, fists clenched, mind stretching, seeking, grappling with the impossibility of restraint. And then it is there. The raw, forbidden knowledge of what you could do. The secrets of life, death, the manipulation of fate itself. The dark side pulses beneath your skin, a fire restrained only by choice. And you feel it. The exhilarating, terrifying truth. It is within your grasp. You walk the corridors again, faster now, the city's lights streaking past. The force is taut, responsive, alive. You imagine bending it to your will, reshaping reality, controlling outcomes, seizing destiny. Every sensation, every sound, every shadow seems amplified. You feel omnipotent, yet terrified. And beneath the thrill, a creeping doubt whispers back, at what cost? The voice silences it immediately. Everything is a cost, but the reward is yours. Power, knowledge, love saved, fear eliminated. You stagger, heart pounding, sweat prickling your skin. The pull is magnetic. The words promise salvation. They promise revenge. They promise a freedom you have never known. And somewhere deep inside, a voice, your own, faint, barely audible, asks, can you resist? You remember her again. Her laughter, the warmth of her hands, the light in her eyes. And then the nightmare, her breath failing, her cries echoing through your soul. The dark side offers a solution, a way to avert terror, a path to power that the Jedi forbid. Desire and fear collide, twisting, melding. You are on the edge of decision. Every principle you have been taught trembles. Every vow you have ever made quivers. The voice coils tighter, a serpent in your chest. Do not fear it. Embrace it. You are meant for more than chains, more than rules. You are destiny. And yet, the Jedi's teachings persist in faint echo. Attachment leads to suffering. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to the dark side. You remember Qui-Gon's words, Obi-Wan's caution, the Council's warnings. But they feel distant now, like voices of the past, warnings of a world that has never understood you, that has never fully seen your strength. The voice of the dark promises mastery, answers, certainty. It is intoxicating. It is terrifying. It is beautiful. And worst of all, you realize you want to listen. A vision seizes you. You stand before a galaxy in chaos. Planets burn. War rages. And in the center, her face, alive, smiling, reaching for you. You can save her. If only you step beyond the line. If only you grasp the power promised. If only you listen fully. Every muscle tenses. Every instinct screams warning. Every heartbeat thunders. You taste the metallic tang of fear, the heat of anticipation, the thrill of forbidden potential. The Force bends around your will, receptive, alive, responding, and the voice whispers again, "It is yours. Seize it." You gasp, staggering, hands trembling. The night closes in. Shadows swirl. The lights of Coruscant flicker below, indifferent. Your chest heaves with desire and dread, excitement and fear. You have felt power before, but never like this. Never this intimate, this palpable. The dark side coils inside you, a serpent, patient and seductive. It promises salvation and vengeance, clarity and freedom, and the first tendrils of hunger sink deep, entwining with fear, with love, with rage. You are on the precipice. The silk voice coils, promising power beyond comprehension. Fear has sharpened into hunger, desire into obsession. The Jedi warn, the galaxy waits, but the dark whispers, "Reach." And as the night presses close, you feel it, in every fiber of your being. The choice is yours, and the serpent will wait patiently. Will you step forward, or will you turn away? The first thing you notice is the cold, not the chill of night air or Coruscant's steel corridors, but a deeper, creeping frost that slides along your spine, chilling your blood. It wraps around your heart, coiling tight, whispering that the world you know, the Jedi, the Republic, the rules you have been raised to obey, is a cage. Every lesson, every warning, every vow now feels brittle, cracking beneath the weight of truth you have glimpsed. And then you hear the voice. It is soft, dangerous, honeyed with venom. You see the truth. It hisses. They hide from you. They fear you. They cannot protect you, nor can they save what you love. I can. The words curl around your mind like smoke, suffocating, intoxicating. The promise is clear: power without lies, mastery without restraint, honesty without the chains of the Council's rules. You walk the shadowed corridors of the temple. Moonlight slices through tall windows, casting elongated, jagged shapes across polished floors. Every step you take echoes unnaturally, amplified by silence. You remember the Council's lectures: discipline, detachment, obedience, but they are hollow now. The whispers of a voice outside the Council's chambers beckon, stirring a hunger in your chest you cannot ignore. The Jedi demand loyalty, yet they conceal truth. They preach virtue, yet hide the real stakes. Every smile is measured, every word veiled. And here, in the shadows, is honesty, venomous and sweet, unfiltered, tailored to your mind, promising freedom from doubt, fear, and loss. You kneel. It is not just a physical act, it is a surrender, a crossing of a line that cannot be uncrossed. Your knees press against cold stone, the surface biting into your flesh, grounding you, reminding you of reality, even as the Force trembles around you. Trembling yourself, you feel the gravity of your choice. Every instinct screams warning. Every lesson from Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and the countless Jedi before you echoes. Do not give yourself to this darkness. And yet, you cannot stop. You belong to your destiny. The voice whispers, sliding inside your mind, pressing against your thoughts like silk over steel. I can teach you more than they ever could. I can make you strong. I can make you whole. Step forward, and all that you fear, your pain, your loss, your weakness, can end. You feel the Force bending around your decision. It is a pulse, a living thing that stretches through every nerve and fiber of your body. Light and dark clash invisibly in your chest, warping your perception, amplifying both fear and exhilaration. You can taste it, metallic like blood and ozone, the thrill of potential power mingling with terror of betrayal. You are not young anymore. You have fought, loved, failed, and lost. You have seen war, witnessed destruction, and felt the sting of doubt from those who were meant to guide you. And now, here is a choice: loyalty to the Jedi, whose truths are veiled, or allegiance to one who offers clarity, even if it carries poison. You remember the first time he spoke to you, not in threat, not in confrontation, but in quiet, deliberate insight. A voice that acknowledged your anger, your pain, your desire without judgment. A voice that promised understanding, guidance, and freedom from the suffocating rules of the Council. The memory coils around your mind, fueling temptation. You recall the power he hinted at, the mastery beyond lightsaber skill, beyond Force abilities, beyond the rigid teachings that have guided your life. A whisper of control, unrestrained, unlimited. You can shape the future. he murmured. You can protect those you love. But first, you must step beyond the lies. And tonight, in the shadows of the temple, you realize that stepping beyond is no longer a hypothetical. It is now. You hear the echoes of betrayal in your mind, not the imagined kind, the betrayal of your principles, but the undeniable truth. The Jedi have lied. They have hidden. They have withheld. They have judged without understanding. And every failure you have endured, every loss, every heartbreak, the blame is theirs in part. The serpent in your mind coils tighter. The voice promises recompense, promises mastery, promises answers, promises the power to take destiny in your own hands. Your fingers clench into fists. Your knuckles whiten. Every muscle in your body is taut, vibrating with anticipation and fear. You know the path you are about to tread is irreversible. You kneel deeper, the stone biting into your skin, grounding you in the reality of your choice. You feel the first tendrils of the dark side, not violent, not explosive, yet. It slithers along your nerves, a subtle heat, a pulse of energy that amplifies focus, sharpens senses, and magnifies desire. It speaks in whispers, riding on your fear and your grief. Do not resist, it murmurs. The Jedi would limit you. I can elevate you. I can make you whole. And you want to believe it. You want to grasp at the promise of power, the possibility of rewriting fate, of controlling what the Force will not allow under the Council's strictures. You feel it in your chest, a burning hunger coiled with fear, ready to explode. Every lesson, every vow, every attachment, everything seems a chain, now, holding you back from what you might become. The city below Coruscant's towers is quiet, unaware, and yet, the universe itself feels charged. The Force pulses around you, responsive, bending, alive. You reach for it instinctively, and it flows like molten metal through your veins, powerful, intoxicating. The dark side wraps around you like a cloak, protective, seductive, absolute. You feel your heartbeat synchronize with it, your fear, sharp, and into clarity. Your desire for control transform into determination. You are choosing, and in choosing, you know there is no turning back. You kneel longer, breathing ragged, hands resting on cold stone. Every thought, every memory, every fear collides within you. You see her face, the woman you cannot lose. You see the countless battles, the impossible missions, the deaths you could not prevent. And the voice promises you a way to protect, to dominate, to ensure that nothing slips through your grasp again. You want it more than you have wanted anything in your life. Rise, it whispers, silk and shadow. Your loyalty now belongs to truth, not to lies, to power, not to obedience, to destiny, not to chains. You rise, knees stiff, muscles tense, chest heaving. The dark side hums around you, alive, responsive, insistent. Every instinct, every memory, every lesson is eclipsed by the pull of the promise. You feel strength, focus, clarity, and fear so sharp it tastes like iron in your mouth. And with that, you kneel no longer to the Jedi you have chosen. The Jedi are no longer your masters. The serpent waits with patient, venomous anticipation. Power coils around your heart, a cloak of shadow that promises mastery and revenge. You have crossed the line. There is no return. And as the Force bends, trembling with your decision, you feel it deep in your bones. The galaxy will never see you the same way again. The path is dark, the master is patient, and betrayal tastes like fire on your tongue. You hear the crackle before you see the flames. The temple's sacred halls are engulfed in fire, the ancient stone glowing orange, shadows dancing in a hellish rhythm. Smoke curls into your nostrils, thick and choking, carrying the acrid scent of burning wood and scorched metal. The air vibrates with the shriek of collapsing beams, a symphony of destruction that matches the roar of your heartbeat. Every step you take echoes across the empty corridors, but the echoes are broken, swallowed by the inferno and the chaos you have unleashed. And then you see them, younglings, children barely taller than your knee, eyes wide with terror, clutching training sabers too small, faces wet with tears. They look at you, pleading silently. Their tiny voices are drowned beneath the roar of fire and your own rapid breathing, but their fear is clear, sharp, cutting through you like a blade, and your blade hums alive. A brilliant red line of light, lethal, humming with your intent. It responds to you, to your rage, your grief, your hunger. You feel it in your hands, your arms, your chest. The power is intoxicating. You are no longer constrained by the Jedi's teachings, no longer bound by morality, obedience, or fear of consequence. The dark side flows through you like molten fire, and it is beautiful. You advance. Each step is deliberate, measured. You hear the screams before they even happen. The younglings scatter, small shadows darting between columns and debris. Their eyes find yours one last time. Hope, confusion, despair, all mingled into a single, heart-stabbing gaze. But you do not hesitate. Your training, your power, your mastery, it all channels through this moment. You swing the blade, precise, devastating, the red light cutting through the haze of smoke and panic. Sparks fly where the blade meets sabers, wood splinters, metal shrieks, and above it all, the voice of the dark Sid. He whispers, "This is necessary. This is destiny. This is your power." You feel no remorse. Not yet. Only clarity. Only purpose. The temple erupts into chaos. Flames devour the walls, smoke blinds, and heat presses against your skin like a living thing. The younglings fight, but they are small, inexperienced. Their movements are frantic, desperate, and for every strike there is a counter, a deflection, a red streak of your judgment. Their screams echo, piercing the roar of the fire, until one by one the echoes fade, replaced by silence. You are methodical. You are unstoppable. You are a force reshaped. Every strike, every parry, every movement is perfection born of fear and rage and the intoxicating pull of the dark side. You have become something beyond what you were, beyond Anakin, beyond Jedi. Memories flicker in your mind, like dying embers in the fire around you. Obi-Wan's lectures, Qui-Gon's warnings, the Council's disapproval, they all collide with the memory of her face, her cries, the nightmares that haunted your sleep. Every attachment, every failure, every loss twists into justification. You are not evil. You are necessary. You are power. You are control incarnate. And yet, beneath the surge, beneath the fire and the screams, a tremor whispers in the back of your mind, a faint, nearly forgotten warning. This is not you. This is not what you were meant to be. But it is drowned out, completely. The youngling's eyes meet yours again, the final ones left standing. There is fear, pure and raw, mirrored against your own fury. They do not understand why this has happened. You do. And the understanding is suffocating, delicious, overwhelming. You lift the blade high, its hum slicing through the smoke-filled air. Time slows. The force bends to your will. You feel omnipotent, unstoppable, yet hollow. This is power, the dark side whispers. This is freedom. This is your destiny. And so you strike. The screams stop abruptly. The silence is heavy, almost alive, pressing against your ears. Smoke fills your lungs, stings your throat, but your chest rises and falls steadily, controlled, rhythmic. You stand amidst the ruin of innocence, your blade dripping with red light and intent, your heart pounding in a rhythm that feels both victorious and hollow. You look down at what you have done. The temple, once a place of light and learning, now lies in ashes. The bodies of the younglings, silent and still, reflect in the flames like shattered reflections of a life you can never reclaim. And you, standing there, burning, triumphant, broken, realize the truth. There is no going back. You are no longer Anakin. You are something darker, something shaped by rage, fear, loss, and the intoxicating promise of power. You are the executioner, the harbinger, the instrument of destiny. And the galaxy will never forget the weight of this night. The force quivers around you, resonant with your anger, your grief, your exhilaration. It sings with power, vibrates with the raw energy of creation and destruction intertwined. You feel it deep in your chest, crawling under your skin, weaving into every nerve, every muscle, every thought. You are alive in a way you never were before, alive in shadow, alive in ruin, alive in domination, and yet, beneath the fire, beneath the adrenaline, beneath the intoxicating ecstasy of your transformation, a faint echo whispers, "You have crossed a line. You cannot return." Coruscant itself seems to shiver beneath you. The city's lights glow faintly through the smoke rising from the temple. Unaware, distant, insignificant, the world continues, blind to the horrors within. And you, standing amidst the ash and ruin, blade humming, realize that your actions are more too personal vengeance, more than grief or anger. You have become an agent of change, unstoppable, terrifying, absolute. The dark side hums in approval, feeding on your fear and rage, strengthening you, binding you, claiming you. Every heartbeat, every breath, every movement is now intertwined with its promise. You remember the words whispered to you before the act. The Jedi bind you. They do not understand. I can give you power. I can give you freedom. I can give you destiny. And now, you have accepted them. You have embraced the power, the freedom, the destiny. And in that acceptance, you feel it. The irreversible truth. You are changed. You are no longer the boy who raced through deserts, no longer the apprentice who dreamed of greatness. You are an executioner, a shadow, a force of nature, and the galaxy will bend before the consequences of your choice. The temple burns. You step forward through ash and smoke, blade humming, force thrumming in your veins. The silence of the dead children presses against you like a weight, yet it fuels you, sharpens your focus, hardens your resolve. The dark side coils inside, patient, insistent, a companion that will never leave. And as the first light of dawn touches the city above, you realize the final, terrifying truth. The boy who was Anakin Skywalker is dead. In his place stands the executioner. You have embraced the dark side fully. The temple lies in ruin, innocence destroyed. The galaxy will feel the tremors of your choice. The Force thrums around you, alive and dangerous, resonant with the power of your transformation. You are no longer Anakin. Something darker has taken his place. The next steps are unstoppable. The path is set, and the world will never be the same. The heat hits first. Not just warmth, but a suffocating, oppressive blaze that scorches your lungs, makes your skin crawl, and turns your sweat into steam. The volcanic air clings to you, thick with ash and the sulfuric stench of molten rock. You inhale anyway, burning in your chest, because turning back is no longer an option. You have come too far, done too much. And there, across the rivers of glowing lava, on the edge of the cliff, is him, your brother. Your friend, the boy who once raced pod racers beside you, who shared laughter, dreams, and secrets. And now, he stands as enemy. His lightsaber hums, blue, a stark contrast to the red of your own, a beacon of defiance. His eyes search yours, searching for something, understanding, hope, maybe even the faintest trace of the boy you once were. But you see only the path you have chosen, the shadow you have embraced, and the power that surges like molten steel through your veins. The ground trembles beneath your boots. The planet itself seems to quake in anticipation, responding to the titanic duel about to unfold. You feel the vibration in your chest, in your hands, as if the molten heart of the world aligns with your rage. Lava bubbles and hisses, tiny explosions sending molten droplets into the air. Sparks dance across the jagged rocks around you, reflecting in your eyes like miniature stars. Each step closer is deliberate, measured, yet your pulse races uncontrollably. Every nerve in your body hums with the Force, alert, aware, alive. Words come first. Anakin, it doesn't have to be this way, he pleads, voice cracking against the roar of the volcano. You're not lost. You can come back. We can fix this. Together. You laugh, bitter, hollow. Fix this? There's nothing left to fix. I've done what I must, what I was meant to do. You're too blind to see the truth. Your words slash through the air like your saber will soothe. And sharp, precise, impossible to take back. You feel the weight of every betrayal, every death, every scream you have absorbed over the past weeks. The memories surge like a river breaking its dam. Temple in flames, younglings screaming, the council whispering behind doors you no longer trust. And now, him. He steps forward, blue blade raised, and you meet it with your own. The hum of lightsabers clashes with the roar of the molten rock, echoing into the cavernous volcanic plains. Sparks scatter where the two blades meet, scattering into the heat, into the shadows, into the haze of smoke and ash. The air vibrates with energy, the Force thrumming like a living thing, vibrating against every fiber of your being. Every movement, every strike, is a dance of rage and skill, honed through years of training, pain, and loss. And yet, every strike carries an invisible weight. Every swing of your saber is accompanied by memories of laughter you shared, lessons he taught you, the brotherhood you once knew. Every parry, every thrust, is haunted by the possibility of redemption and the terrifying certainty that it may be gone forever. The volcanic air grows hotter, Sweat streams down your face, stinging your eyes, but you do not flinch. Every breath is deliberate, every movement exact. The ground beneath your boots cracks, molten rock spilling into fissures, sizzling like the fire in your chest. Lava surges in the distance, orange and red, reflecting in the metallic sheen of your armor. The planet itself seems alive, sensing the clash of titans, responding with tremors, eruptions, the hiss of searing heat. He speaks again, softer now, almost a whisper over the chaos. You don't have to do this. I know there's still good in you. Your hand tightens on the hilt. Your chest rises and falls rapidly. You feel the dark side coiling in your mind, whispering, there is no good left, only power, only control, only destiny. And you believe it. The duel escalates. Sabers clash in a violent symphony of light and sound. Sparks fly, hissing against molten stone. Each parry is met with a counterstrike, each attack answered with equal ferocity. Dust and ash swirl around you, coating your armor, searing your skin. The force surges through you, alive, demanding, pushing, pulling, every movement precise, every strike amplified by the dark energy coursing through your veins. You feel invincible, and yet terrified. Every swing could end him. Every thrust could sever the bond you once shared. Every movement carries the weight of destiny, guilt, and the unrelenting pull of the dark side. You feel it in your chest, in your hands, in the sweat stinging your eyes. This is no ordinary duel. This is the end of brotherhood, the end of innocence, the end of Anakin Skywalker. The lava erupts nearby, a geyser of molten rock shooting skyward. The heat burns your lungs, the ash clogs your throat, and for a moment the world blurs. Shadows dance across your vision, reflecting the inner turmoil. The boy who dreamed of greatness, the Jedi who sought balance, the executioner who embraced darkness. And then he attacks. A sudden lunge, a ferocious strike aimed at your chest. You parry, muscles straining, sweat and ash flying. Sparks scatter across the blackened rock. The force hums, bending to your will, strengthening your reflexes, guiding your movements. Every motion is instinct, precision, and raw emotion intertwined. You retaliate. Your blade slices through the air, a streak of red cutting into the glow of molten orange. He steps back, narrowly avoiding a fatal strike. His breathing is heavy, ragged, eyes wide with pain, confusion, and a desperate hope. And you feel the surge of power, the intoxicating thrill of dominance, the cruel satisfaction that comes from knowing you are stronger, faster, unstoppable. But fear lingers, deep, gnawing, unrelenting. Not fear of death, you welcome it, but fear of what you are becoming. You are no longer a boy who raced pod racers on Tatooine. You are no longer the hopeful apprentice who dreamed of saving the galaxy. You are a shadow, a weapon, a storm incarnate, and across from you stands the last tether to the boy you once were. Your brother, your friend, your only family. Every swing, every parry, every hum of your saber carries both fury and sorrow. You feel the echoes of all your past failures, all your losses, all the screams you've heard, merging into one unstoppable force, driving you forward. The duel reaches its apex. Sparks fly as sabers clash, the sound amplified by the hollow echoes of volcanic tunnels. The air is thick with ash, the heat unbearable, sweat streaming down your face, stinging your eyes. The ground cracks beneath you, molten rivers splitting the terrain, sending embers into the sky like tiny fiery stars. Every step you take, every move you make, is magnified by the force, making you faster, stronger, deadlier. He falters. A misstep, a hesitation, a moment of doubt, and you feel it. The surge of power, the pull of destiny. Your blade presses forward, red humming with lethal intent. You are no longer Anakin. You are the executioner, the harbinger of fate, the storm that cannot be stopped. And yet, in his eyes, you see yourself reflected back. The boy who wanted to protect, who wanted to save, who wanted love and honor. A trace, fleeting, impossible to deny. The final strike looms. Time slows, breath catches, ash falls like snow, hot and suffocating. The force thrums like molten steel in your chest, guiding, urging, demanding. The world narrows to two figures, two sabers, two hearts clashing in fury, fear, and fractured loyalty. And then, a scream pierces the volcanic roar. Your saber collides with his in a final echoing clash, sparks flying, molten rock sizzling where it strikes. The force bends, quivering around the two of you, and you realize, with a chilling clarity, that no matter the outcome, nothing will ever be the same. The galaxy will remember this duel. History will feel the tremors. And you have crossed the line from brother to executioner. You face your brother, the last tether to your past. The duel shakes the planet, both physically and emotionally. The Force hums with your fury, your grief, your overwhelming power. You are no longer the boy, the Jedi, or the friend. Only the executioner remains. The outcome is imminent, but the shadow of your choice looms eternal. The silence is suffocating, not the absence of sound, but a heavy, oppressive void that presses against your chest, coils around your lungs, and chokes your throat. Smoke curls upward, acrid and bitter, stinging your eyes, coating your skin with the ash of destruction. The heat from the lava and wreckage presses against you, but it is the stillness, the unbearable calm after the storm of screams and fire, that strikes first. Your body burns, your chest aches, your arms tremble. You are alive, yet fragmented, a shattered mirror reflecting the boy who once dreamed of stars, and the executioner who has become something monstrous. And above all else, you hear it, the faint hiss of metal, the cold mechanical breath that is about to seal your fate. The medics work with grim efficiency. Clamps, tubes, wires, they snake into your body, fuse with flesh, intertwining muscle and bone with machinery. Every movement sends sparks of pain coursing through you, and yet your mind races faster than any doctor can follow. You see yourself reflected in the metal surfaces, scorched, broken, masked by soot and shadow, yet alive, or something like it. A helmet is placed over your head, cold, heavy, unyielding. You feel the metal bite into your skin, pressing, suffocating, demanding submission. The mask seals with a hiss. Your eyes, if they could still see the world as you once did, would meet the endless void. Instead, darkness envelops you, and your breath hisses mechanically, a cruel imitation of life. You are no longer the boy. You are no longer Anakin Skywalker. You are ash. The sound of your new breath is hypnotic, hissing, rhythmic, inhuman. Each exhale echoes through the chamber, a cold, lifeless cadence that mirrors the emptiness inside you. Every inhale drags in sterile air through filters, valves, and machines, reminding you of your mortality, but also of your rebirth. This is no longer weakness. This is control. This is inevitability. The surgeons, distant, faceless, speak in clinical tones, but you do not hear them. You do not need their guidance. The Force whispers instead, faintly at first, then roaring like a storm within your chest. It twists around your pain, your grief, your rage, binding it to purpose, shaping it into power. Every nerve hums with it. Every thought, every memory, every scar fuels it. You are alive, but not as you were. Pain surges. Flames of memory ignite within your mind. The screams of the younglings, the desperate cries of your mother, the pleading eyes of your brother, the betrayal, the fire, the darkness. Every loss, every failure, every act of destruction coils into a living thing, thrashing inside you. The mask is heavy on your face, but it is nothing compared to the weight you carry in your soul. And yet, as the agony peaks, clarity strikes. This body, these machines, this mask, they are not imprisonment. They are liberation. They are armor against weakness, against hesitation, against the frailty that allowed loss and failure to consume you. They are the vessel of the monster you have become, the embodiment of vengeance, of power, of destiny. The man dies. The boy, Anakin Skywalker, dies with him. And from the ashes, the monster awakens. You lift your hand and feel the cold strength of metal and servos. Fingers respond with a precision that flesh could never achieve. Your senses, amplified by machinery and the dark side, extend beyond your own body. The world is sharper, clearer, more immediate. You hear the soft hum of life support systems, the faint vibration of distant ships, the whispered heartbeat of the Force around you. It bends, it twists, it responds, and you, part man, part machine, all monster, respond back. The mask is now your face, the mechanical hiss your voice. You speak, and it echoes through the chamber, hollow and authoritative. I am Vader. The galaxy will remember the night the monster was born. No one replies. They cannot. Their words are irrelevant. The world will bend to your will. The Force flows around you like molten steel. Every pulse is a testament to rage, grief, and power. You can feel the sparks of destruction you have wrought, the tremors of planets shaken by your wrath. You can sense the fear of those who remain, the fragile hearts of Jedi scattered across the galaxy, quivering at the shadow you have become. And you embrace it. You do not hesitate. There is no remorse. There is only purpose, infinite and absolute. The mask constrains you physically, but liberates you spiritually. Every breath, every hum of machinery, every surge of the Force through your veins is a reminder. You are unstoppable. You are eternal. You are the instrument of destiny, the harbinger of the galaxy's reckoning. The boy who dreamed of stars no longer exists. In his place stands something colder, sharper, deadlier, something the galaxy will fear. Your reflection in polished metal is alien. Eyes that once shone with hope and doubt now glare from behind lenses, expressionless, unreadable. You do not see fear or regret or humanity. You see purpose incarnate. Every scar, every burn, every loss, every act of horror is etched into the steel and servos that cover your body. And yet beneath it all, you feel the dark thrill of life, of power, of unrestrained potential. A whisper reaches you, a memory of Obi-Wan's voice, of love lost, of the promise you betrayed. But it is faint, overpowered by the mechanical hiss, the thrumming of the Force, the roar of destiny fulfilled. You do not hesitate. You do not falter. You do not look back. The man is gone. The monster lives. Your first steps are unsteady, but purposeful. The servos hum, the metal creaks, and the dark energy of the Force pulses with each motion. The world trembles at your awakening. Lava beneath the chamber floor vibrates with your presence. Every sound, every vibration, every tremor is proof. Vader is alive. Vader is powerful. Vader is inevitable. You raise your hand and feel the Force respond instantly. Ships tremble in orbit. Alarms scream across distant worlds, and the whispers of rebellion fade beneath the tidal wave of your presence. You are no longer a victim. You are not a soldier. You are a shadow, a storm, a monster, and the galaxy will bend before you. The room is silent, save for the hiss of your breath and the faint hum of life support. No cheers, no whispers, no comfort. Only the heavy, infinite weight of inevitability. You are alone, yet unbound. Alone, yet infinite. Alone, yet eternal. Your mask seals more than flesh. It seals the last remnants of your humanity, the last tendrils of Anakin Skywalker. They are gone, sacrificed to rage, grief, and the dark side. In their place rises Vader, unyielding, absolute, merciless. Every being, every world, every star system will know this night. The monster is awake, and as you step forward into the shadows, the galaxy quivers. The mask hums, your breath hisses, the Force bends, and the dark promise of your reign stretches outward like an unstoppable storm. You are no longer boy, no longer Jedi, no longer human in the way you once were. You are the embodiment of fear, power, and destiny. The man has died, the monster lives, and the galaxy will never forget the sound of his mechanical breath. The transformation is complete. Anakin Skywalker is dead. Vader rises, a fusion of man, machine, and the dark side. The Force thrums around you, amplifying rage, grief, and power. The galaxy will feel the shadow of your birth, and nothing will ever be the same. The next steps, the hunt, the consolidation, the reign, loom inevitable and unstoppable. The hiss of your breath is the first sound the galaxy recognizes. Cold, mechanical, inhuman, it slithers through corridors of steel, echoes across the decks of your star destroyers, and drags the air of fear with it. The scent of burning fuel, hot metal, and ozone clings to every bulkhead, every walkway. Your shadow falls long and black, stretching across officers, soldiers, and prisoners alike. It is heavier than gravity, denser than the steel that surrounds you, and utterly inescapable. You move through the corridors, cape trailing like smoke behind you, the hum of machinery in your chest synchronizing with the Force that bends itself around your will. Every eye in your presence drops, every whisper dies. The officers of the Empire know the cost of defiance, and you, Darth Vader, are the embodiment of that cost. The galaxy kneels, or it burns. Planets huddle under your fleets, stars obscured by the hulls of star destroyers that blot out suns. You feel the tremor of engines, the vibration of millions of tons of warship pressing against the void. From orbit to surface, fear is a tangible thing. It coils through the veins of governors, merchants, and soldiers alike. It is heavier than the heat of a Coruscant sun, denser than the ash that once fell on Mustafar, and you thrive in it. You pass over screens showing worlds in submission. Cities crumble under the pressure of occupation. Fleets surrender without firing a shot, and the weak beg for mercy. Their voices do not reach you, not yet, but the knowledge of their terror does. Every trembling governor, every quaking soldier, every hidden whisper of rebellion feeds into the dark symphony of your dominance. You pause at a command deck. Officers scurry, their steps echoing hollowly against polished metal. Holotables flicker with star systems and fleet positions. You sense the tremor of discontent. There are whispers, always whispers. Rebellion never sleeps, even in fear, the weak dream of freedom. And that is where your power lies, in their doubt, in their hesitation, in the knowledge that one wrong glance could mean their death. You extend your hand, and the force obeys. A commander flinches, his body rises, rigid, suspended above the floor. Eyes wide, he gapes, lips moving silently, but no sound escapes. His fear is a tangible thing, vibrating against your chest like a chord struck in a cathedral of steel. A flick of your wrist, and he collapses to the ground, gasping, shivering. Authority flows outward from you, inescapable, undeniable. You are not just feared, you are worshipped through terror. The weight of power is intoxicating. Every fleet, every world, every whispering shadow in the galaxy bends toward you. You feel it in the coils of the Force, thick and heavy as blood, pulsing around your form. Even those who resist, even those who hide, even those who plot, they cannot escape. You know where they are. You feel their doubt, their defiance, their futile hope, and it feeds you. Hunger sharpens into clarity, rage into control, despair into inevitability. Your cape sweeps behind you as you walk the length of the command deck, the hum of engines, the clatter of boots, the soft clicks of data terminals. They all exist to serve you, to frame the shadow you cast. The galaxy sees only the mask, the mechanical hiss, the unblinking eyes. They do not see the man beneath. They do not see the memory of a boy who once sought justice, love, and peace. That boy is Ash. You feel the weight of the dark symphony around you. Reports of resistance filter in, distant but persistent. A small planet defies your will. A shipment is intercepted. A governor's fleet rebels. You do not rage. Rage is for those who lack control. You are precise, measured, absolute. You reach into the Force, and it bends the world to you. Sensors flash, screens flicker. The insurgents tremble before the invisible hand that constrains them. A single thought, a single motion, and fleets crumble. Worlds kneel, cities burn. The Force obeys your command, bending flesh and metal alike. You do not hesitate. You do not falter. You are inevitability incarnate. In the quiet moments, when the machinery hums and the hiss of your breath fills the room, you sense something lingering. Whispers of rebellion, echoes of the Jedi, ghosts of Anakin Skywalker. They are faint, almost imperceptible, but the Force carries their tremors to you. And it is in these moments that the darkness coils tighter, sharpening your senses, feeding your resolve. You are not the boy who hesitated, who loved, who feared loss. You are Vader. You are perfection in darkness. You are fear, made flesh. Your hand tightens around the railing, knuckles white beneath the black gauntlet. You feel the heartbeat of the galaxy, uneven and frantic. It beats beneath your control, restrained only by your shadow, your presence, your will. Every whisper of hope, every flicker of defiance, every spark of rebellion, that is your tool, that is your weapon, that is your dominion. You descend to the bridge of a newly conquered world. The governors, trembling, kneel. Their faces are pale, their eyes wide. They offer tribute, promises, oaths. You do not speak. You do not need to. The hiss of your breath fills the room, the mechanical hum of life support, and the Force vibrating in every corner. They understand. No words are necessary. Compliance is demanded, enforced, inevitable. Your cape drapes across the polished floor, a shadow that stretches beyond your presence, engulfing all in darkness. You are the specter of the Empire, the embodiment of control, the manifestation of terror. Fear is your language, authority your voice, and the Force your instrument. And yet, even in your dominion, rebellion stirs. You sense it in hidden cells, whispered plans, coded transmissions. It is faint, delicate, fragile, but it exists. Your presence stretches across the galaxy like a black tide, yet it cannot touch every spark at once. And that is where the game begins, where the monster tests the will of the galaxy, where fear must be sharpened, wielded like a blade. A single demonstration is enough. A world is reduced to obedience. Another fleet surrenders before firing a shot. The Force moves through you like liquid steel, guiding your wrath, shaping your strategy. The galaxy is yours, not by love, not by loyalty, but by terror, precision, and inevitability. You are the shadow over all things. You are the Empire's fist, unyielding, absolute. You are Vader. The hum of engines, the hiss of your breath, the soft vibrations of the Force. These are the rhythms of your rule. You do not sleep. You do not forgive. You do not hesitate. Every moment is occupied with domination, control, observation. Officers scurry to anticipate your will. Soldiers execute orders without question. Spies whisper into voids that lead only to your knowledge. Every rebellion, every whisper, every tremor of hope is catalogued, measured, and eradicated before it can grow. You are absolute, and yet in the deepest corners of the galaxy there are those who defy. A hidden base, a flicker of resistance, a spark of hope, unseen but sensed. You feel it, a faint pulse in the Force. It calls to you, tempting, taunting, fragile. You do not underestimate it. You will extinguish it. Fear is a weapon, and you are a master. Shadows are your allies. Darkness your cloak. Every hidden whisper will be traced, every spark of defiance crushed beneath the weight of inevitability. The Empire obeys. The galaxy fears. The dark side flows through you, thick and unrelenting, feeding the machine of control. And you are the instrument, the embodiment, the shadow incarnate. The hiss of your breath fills the silent corridors. The galaxy trembles beneath your shadow. Star destroyers blot out suns. Fleets kneel, worlds surrender. Yet whispers linger, always lingering, faint, fragile, defiant. You feel them, hear them, track them. Fear is not enough. Vigilance is required. Power must be absolute. Control must be total. You lift a hand, and the Force bends toward you. A distant world flinches. A rebel cell trembles. A governor falls to his knees. This is not mercy. This is rule. Absolute, merciless, perfect. You are Vader, and the shadows of the Empire stretch endlessly before you. Vader consolidates his rule through terror and absolute control. The galaxy kneels, yet whispers of rebellion stir faintly in the shadows. The dark side pulses, feeding his dominance and vigilance. The next chapter will explore the escalation of conflict, the hunt for remaining Jedi, and the tightening grip of Vader's empire. The silence is deafening. No hum of engines, no footfalls on steel decks, no flicker of hollow screens, just the hiss of your own mechanical breath. It cuts through the darkness, steady, relentless, inhuman. But tonight, it is not power that fills your senses. It is memory. The smoke of battle, the scent of charred flesh, and the cold metallic tang of blood linger in the air like phantoms you cannot dispel. You stand on the bridge of a star destroyer. Black void outside, stars sharp points in the dark. The galaxy sleeps, or so it pretends, but your mind does not anymore. Every flicker of light, every vibration through the Force carries echoes of lives you have extinguished, faces of children and innocence burned into your vision. You breathe, but it feels hollow. You move, but the shadows of your past trail you like chains. At night, the past speaks. Her voice, the one you cannot forget, slips through the corridors of memory. Padme's words, soft and full of love, curl around your skull. Anakin, she whispers in your mind, a reminder of all you have lost, all you have destroyed. You grind your teeth behind the mask, but the sound does nothing to silence her. The Force vibrates with the remnants of her presence, the echo of your choices, the pain you cannot erase. Your hands clench into fists, black gloves tightening over metal gauntlets. You killed without hesitation. You executed orders with precision. Planets burned, fleets fell, children screamed, and yet the boy who once dreamed of saving lives refuses to vanish. Anakin Skywalker lurks in every shadow, every corner of your mind, a ghost you cannot kill, You wander through the dark corridors of your ship. Each step is a drumbeat, a cadence that merges with your mechanical breathing. You pass stormtroopers standing rigid, officers trembling in anticipation of your command. Their fear is comforting, familiar, but it can not silence the memories. You reach out with the Force, testing for disturbances, quelling whispers of rebellion, but the true disturbance is within. Ghosts of your past crawl into every crevice of your mind, the laughter of children you executed on Mustafar, the pleading eyes of younglings, the agonized cries of Padme. You pause at a viewport, staring into the abyss of space. Stars burn cold and distant, indifferent. You feel their indifference as an accusation. Every light is a reminder of what you have destroyed, of the life you abandoned. You are the shadow that eclipses the galaxy, yet even in darkness, light persists, and it mocks you. The Force whispers in torment. It carries not strategy, not commands, but echoes of guilt. You sense every life taken, every tear shed, every promise broken. The Jedi you hunted, their fear, their hope, it lingers like smoke in your lungs. You have extinguished entire generations, yet the Force remembers, and so do you. It coils around you, tight and suffocating, whispering truths you refuse to hear. A cry pierces the void, not real, not yet, but unmistakable. You know it, you recognize it. Children screaming, burning, dying. You feel their fear like fire on your skin. You close your eyes behind the mask, but the image does not fade. It flashes relentlessly. Younglings, innocent, defenseless, their trust betrayed, their lives cut short by your blade. And then her face appears, not in flesh, not alive, but in memory. Padme Amidala, eyes wide with fear and heartbreak, reaching for you as if her touch could anchor you to the man you once were. You reach for her behind the mask, but your hands meet nothing. The Force wails with her grief, but you turn away. You cannot afford attachment. You cannot afford weakness. You cannot allow Anakin Skywalker to surface. Yet he surfaces anyway. You feel his rage, his sorrow, his confusion. It merges with your own. Anger, despair, and the dark hunger for control converge into a storm that you do not attempt to suppress. You are Darth Vader. You are the instrument of the Empire, absolute and unyielding. And still, the boy you once were claws at the edges of your mind, demanding recognition, demanding redemption, demanding release you will never grant. You kill again, not out of hatred or necessity, but routine. Rebels fall, starships disintegrate under your command. Innocents are collateral in the mechanics of war. You watch them die, measure their fear, and extinguish it. Each life extinguished is supposed to numb the ghost, silence the memory, cement your identity as Vader, but it does not. Each act of execution, each strike of your blade, reverberates in memory like a bell tolling for your own sins. The screams follow you, even when there are none. The smoke of Mustafar drifts in the corridors of your mind. The children's eyes haunt you, their laughter, their trust, their innocence. They crawl into your skull like tiny worms, gnawing at the walls of your resolve. And every time you suppress one ghost, another surfaces. You attempt control. You extend your presence across the galaxy, bending fear to your will, crushing resistance before it manifests. Star destroyers blot out suns. Worlds kneel beneath your shadow. Stormtroopers march in perfect unison, yet the symphony of obedience cannot drown the echoes of your past. You feel the whisper of rebellion in the Force, faint but undeniable, and you crush it with calculated brutality. And yet the personal ghosts remain untouchable. You cannot kill memory. You cannot extinguish regret. You cannot silence the boy whose love was true, whose hope burned brighter than your anger. No storm of ships, no shadow of steel, no mechanical breath can shield you from yourself. You wander the halls of your fortress. Machines hum, metal glows, alarms silently pulse. You move like a phantom, the hiss of your respirator filling every empty space. In some rooms, hollow screens flicker with images of planets under siege, ships being destroyed, systems bending to your will, and in the quiet corners, Anakin whispers, softly, tauntingly, reminding you that you once cared, that you once loved, that you once were capable of mercy. You grip your gauntlets, knuckles whitening against steel. The mask is your prison, your prisoner, your shield. Without it, Anakin would consume you, expose you, unravel you, and yet, even with it, he persists. He is the shadow behind the shadow, the whisper behind the hiss, the ghost in every echo. The night stretches, and sleep offers no solace. Your dreams are not rest. They are battlegrounds. Flames lick at your feet, cries echo around you, and the force vibrates with grief and rage. You stand at the center, mechanical and immortal, yet utterly vulnerable to memory. The boy who loved Padme, who dreamed of justice, who sought to save the Republic, he is there, in the smoke, in the screams, in the ghosts you cannot escape. You awaken to silence, but it is false. You can hear it. Their voices crawl along the walls of your mind, reminding you of everything you have destroyed, everything you have failed to protect. Even the smallest sound, the hiss of your respirator, the hum of engines, carries the weight of the past. You are never alone. And still, the galaxy kneels. Planets submit, fleets obey, rebels fall. Fear is your language, the dark side your tool. You are a weapon of inevitability, the Emperor's enforcer, the shadow over all stars. Yet, behind the mask, the boy remains, and with him, the pain, the grief, the longing for a life you cannot reclaim. The ghosts do not forgive, they do not forget. They haunt the smoke of your past, and every act of terror, every demonstration of power, every strike meant to quell rebellion is echoed back in memory. You are unstoppable, unyielding, absolute, and yet never complete. The force vibrates, carrying whispers across the galaxy. Some call it fear, some obedience, some power. But to you, it is memory. It is the laughter of children, the voice of Padme, the cries of the Jedi you hunted. It is the boy you were, trapped behind metal and shadow, reminding you that no matter how far you fall, the past never dies. And tonight, like every night, it returns. You are Vader. You are the Empire. You are fear incarnate. And yet, you are haunted. Vader consolidates control across the galaxy, yet memory and guilt continue to torment him. The ghost of Anakin Skywalker remains alive in the Force and in his mind. The chapter leaves Vader's internal struggle unresolved, setting the stage for the final confrontation between darkness and lingering humanity. The cold metal hums beneath your boots, each vibration echoing through the cavernous corridors of the Death Star. Outside, stars streak in static silence, distant suns indifferent to the chaos within. You inhale, drawing the mechanical hiss of your respirator deep into your lungs, yet even its steady rhythm cannot drown out the pulse thrumming in the Force. Something stirs, something familiar, a flicker of defiance, a heartbeat that resonates like your own. You follow it. It leads you down shadowed hallways, past guards frozen in rigid anticipation, past the hum of energy conduits that pulse like veins of steel. Fear and anticipation mix, tangling with the dark hunger that has guided your every step since you became Vader. The Force vibrates around you, tense, electric. It is alive, calling, demanding, whispering secrets you are not ready to hear but cannot ignore. A boy stands before you, stubborn, reckless, full of fire and fury that mirrors your own. Once, his saber ignites, brilliant and defiant, and you feel the echo of the past thrumming through the Force. He does not know yet who you are. You do not yet reveal the truth. That knowledge coils around your chest like a tightening noose. Destiny presses against your throat, insistent and merciless. Every movement he makes is a challenge. Every breath he takes is a spark against the storm of darkness you embody. You sense his anger, his fear, his confusion. It is intoxicating, maddening, and terrifying all at once. In him, you recognize both yourself and the boy you buried long ago. You confront him. Your presence fills the room, a shadow that stretches across walls, across minds. Stormtroopers falter, instinctively recoiling, sensing the dark weight you carry. You raise your hand, and the Force bends around your will. Weapons tremble, tools tremble, even the air itself seems to quiver. Yet the boy stands firm, defiant, to hope, naive courage, and it stings. It pricks a memory you have long tried to suppress, the memory of your own youth, of dreams of justice, of loyalty, of love. But you are no longer that boy. You are Vader. You are the darkness incarnate, and still, every instinct, the flicker of doubt, the twinge of recognition, claws at your mind. You strike, your saber slicing through air with lethal precision, cutting its shadows and echoes, testing his mettle. Sparks hiss as blades collide. The boy's stance is raw, untrained, yet filled with a fire that should have been extinguished long ago. The battle unfolds. Hallways become arenas. The hum of your saber mingles with the hiss of his, a symphony of tension and raw emotion. Each parry, each thrust, each calculated step carries the weight of the galaxy, the weight of your sins. You are relentless, imposing, unstoppable. And yet every clash sends ripples through the force that speak of something more. Bond, blood, connection. You see him falter, but only briefly. He is fast, instinctive, daring in ways that remind you uncomfortably of yourself. Every block, every counter, every flicker of movement is a mirror of your own youth, a reflection of what was and what can never be again. Anger surges, not at him, but at the truth your mind refuses to accept. This boy, he carries a piece of you thought lost forever. You are haunted by echoes, not just of your past sins, the children, the younglings, the Padme you lost, but by the man he might have been, the man you might have raised. His defiance stings more than any blade could. You recognize the spark of hope in his eyes, and it terrifies you. You are a creature of control, of fear, of order, but he embodies chaos, passion, rebellion. And in him, in the glow of his saber, in the tilt of his stance, you see something dangerous, a reflection of Anakin Skywalker, and that is unbearable. The duel escalates. You push him back. Force throws, spins, and strikes. Sparks fly, metal groans, alarms echo in distant corridors. He counters, unpredictable, desperate, fueled by the same reckless courage that once made you a hero. Every strike, every parry, every flash of crimson and blue is a conversation unspoken between father and son, darkness and light, fear and hope. You are relentless, calculating, deadly, and yet he is alive, moving, breathing, challenging, stubborn. A boy standing alone against the shadow of the Empire, against the hand that has killed thousands in your name. And the realization hits, one that you dare not voice, dare not allow yourself to fully acknowledge. Destiny coils tighter. Every move, every swing of your saber, every flicker of his presence through the force presses against you, reminding you of what you have become and what you have lost. You sense him calling to you, and not just in fear or anger, but in the force, in a connection older than the war, older than the Empire, a pull you cannot resist. You strike again. He deflects. Sparks scatter across the steel floor. Sweat drips down your face behind the mask. Metal hisses, engines hum, and the force vibrates with intensity. This boy, this rebel, dares to stand, dares to defy, dares to survive, and something inside you stirs. You realize the truth, but not yet aloud, not yet confirmed. You do not speak it, cannot yet confront it. He is your son. You feel it in the force, in the blood that ties you, in the spark of light within him that mirrors your own long-buried flame. It twists inside you like a knife. The dark power you wield feels both infinite and fragile, because this knowledge, this secret, makes you vulnerable in a way you have never been. And yet, you cannot stop. You will not. You hunt, you strike, you dominate. You are Vader, and duty, fear, and the will of the Emperor demand it. The boy leaps, narrowly avoiding a force push. He gasps, sweat and desperation glinting in his eyes. You see him falter, and for a fraction of a second, just one, your heart, the remnant of Anakin, aches. The boy's courage, his hope, his defiance, are all reflections of what you once were, of the man you might have been. But the mask is unforgiving. The mask is cold. Vader does not hesitate. Vader does not feel. Vader strikes. Yet inside, the ghost of Anakin screams. The duel reaches a crescendo. Your blades clash in a violent, humming storm. Sparks rain, metal groans, alarms pulse like drums. The force swirls around you both, thick and alive, as if it too cannot contain the tension of this encounter. The boy fights with raw, untrained skill, guided by instinct, fueled by rebellion and an unknown bloodline that flows within him. You sense it, though you do not yet name it, the connection that binds you across space and destiny. Every strike, every push, every dodge is a test, not just of skill, but of identity, of fate, of the dark path you have chosen and the light that refuses to vanish. And then, silence. For an instant, the force stills. Your respirator hisses, sparks fall from the ceiling. The boy stands across from you, panting, defiant, alive, and you know, in a way you cannot yet speak, that he will not break. That hope cannot be snuffed so easily. The galaxy may tremble at Vader's shadow, the Empire may dominate with fear, and yet, this boy, refuses to kneel. Destiny coils around your throat tighter than ever. You know that the next confrontation will be different, that every move, every strike, every choice carries consequences beyond the war, beyond the Empire, beyond life and death. And you know, this is only the beginning. Vader senses a Force connection with the boy, unaware he is his son. The duel leaves the boy alive, defiant and dangerous, setting up the ultimate confrontation. Vader's internal conflict intensifies, power and fear versus emerging familial bonds, easing the climax to come. The bridge of the Death Star shudders beneath your boots. Sparks cascade from damaged consoles. The acrid smell of scorched metal fills your respirator. Red and green light flicker across your mask, shadows dancing like restless ghosts. Every echo of the alarms reverberates through your chest, but beneath it all, a deeper vibration thrums in the Force. A heartbeat, a pull, a tether you cannot ignore. He stands before you, the boy, your son. Your saber hums to life, bright and lethal, and you feel the pull of destiny like a hand tightening around your throat. Every instinct screams at you, strike, dominate, end this defiance. But there's something else now, something unbearable. The Force quivers with recognition. His presence is not just rebellion, it is family, and it burns through the dark shell you have wrapped yourself in for decades. Your first strike is precise, calculated, merciless. The boy deflects, sparks showering like falling stars. He fights with skill and fury, a reflection of yourself long buried beneath the mask and armor. Every parry, every thrust, every spin of his blade mirrors the battles you once fought, the training you endured, the rage you once wielded. But there is mercy in his movements, hesitation, compassion, and it pierces you. You feel it in the chest, behind the metal and smoke, behind the darkness you have cultivated. It is fear. Not of him, of yourself. Father, the word cuts through the noise, the clash, the roar of the engines, sharper than any blade. Time fractures. The respirator hisses between each breath. Sparks hang in the air like frozen moments. Your chest tightens. The monster you have become shudders. The mask you forged to conceal Anakin trembles, not from weakness but from the impossible truth you have been avoiding. Your son, your flesh, your blood, and you see it in his eyes, pain, hope, defiance, all coiled into one heartbeat. That is yours and his, intertwined in the Force. You hesitate, a moment so brief it could vanish, but in it lies everything. Memories, regrets, the boy you once held in your arms, the mother you lost, the life you could have had, all crash against the dark tidal wave you have become. You taste it, iron and ash, sweat and oil, the tang of destiny itself, and for the first time in decades, the saber feels heavy, the mask suffocating, the darkness inside you, uncertain. He strikes again. You block, deflect, counter, Force pushing and pulling, limbs moving with practiced precision, but each motion is colored by hesitation, by the impossible awareness that this is not just another duel, this is not just rebellion versus empire, this is father and son, darkness and light, monster and boy. The Force writhes between you, a storm of energy and emotion. You feel every heartbeat of the boy, every flicker of fear and hope, every breath of resolve. The same rhythm that once guided your steps as a young Jedi now guides his, raw, unpolished, yet potent. Sparks fly, metal groans, and the air smells of ozone and molten steel. Every strike, every block, every counterpulse feels like a conversation that speaks not through words, but through the Force, through muscle and breath, through blood and destiny. Your saber clashes with his, the ringing hum vibrating through your bones, and he says it again, Father. The word coils in your chest like a living thing. It twists, it tightens, it threatens to break every chain you forged in anger, in fear, in devotion to the Emperor. The monster within you recoils. Vader falters, and in that falter, the boy sees it, the flicker of Anakin Skywalker, hidden but alive. You lash out, furious, trying to bury the truth beneath steel and fire. The duel becomes a tempest. Sparks rain, shadows twist, the floor shudders beneath the force of your blows. His skill surprises you. His resolve terrifies you. He does not yield. He refuses to kneel. And every strike, every motion reminds you that this boy is not merely a child of destiny. He is your child. And the force itself screams that you must choose, destroy or protect. You push him back. Force grip. Saber strikes. Walls trembling. He tumbles, yet rises, eyes blazing. His fury mirrors yours, yet tempered with mercy you cannot comprehend. Every motion, every heartbeat, every breath is a reflection of the man you were, and the man you could have been. Time stretches. Alarms shriek, metal groans, engines hum like a heartbeat of a dying planet. And in the eye of the storm, you see him clearly. Your son, not just an enemy, not just a rebel, a boy standing where you once stood, facing the darkness you chose. The weight of the truth presses down on you. Vader trembles. Anakin whispers, "Father." You cannot unhear it. You cannot unsee it. Every strike falters. Every motion hesitates. The mask, the armor, the hissing breath, all cannot contain the torrent of emotion. Rage and love collide in a force storm you cannot control. The final clash approaches. You step forward, sabers colliding in a flash of light and shadow. Sparks dance across steel floors. His breath is ragged. Your respirator hisses. The force vibrates with tension that could shatter worlds. He stands, defiant, alive, a living embodiment of hope you long thought impossible. And in this moment you are confronted with the impossible. To strike him down is to destroy a part of yourself. To spare him is to betray the darkness you have become. The force itself seems to hold its breath. Every fiber of your being screams. The galaxy waits. The Empire waits. But behind the mask, the man you once were reaches for the boy who might yet save you, and then, a choice. Your saber hovers, trembling. The monster stirs. The father wakes. Sparks rain. Shadows swirl. Your son's eyes meet yours, unflinching, blazing with defiance, love, and the echo of hope. You know the truth. You cannot deny it. And yet, the path forward remains uncertain. The galaxy holds its breath. The father and the son stand amidst the storm. The clash of steel, the pull of the force, and the weight of destiny pressing from every side. Vader and Anakin, darkness and light, history and future, all converge in a heartbeat that could shatter worlds. Vader realizes the boy is his son, but has not fully acted on this revelation. The duel leaves both father and son alive, emotionally charged, and teetering on the edge of ultimate confrontation. The audience is left in tension. Will Vader embrace the truth, or will the monster consume the father entirely? Lightning crackles like a living beast, scorching the air around you. The metallic scent of ozone fills your lungs, searing them with each desperate breath. Sparks dance across the bridge, reflecting in your visor, painting everything in sickly yellow and red. The Emperor's laughter slices through the chaos, hollow, cruel, triumphant, reverberating inside the hull and inside your chest. Every fiber of your being screams with fury and fear, but beneath it all, a singular truth claws at you. This is your moment. The choice is yours. He hurls more of his searing power at your son, each bolt slicing through the air with unbearable intensity. The boy cries out, thrashing against the invisible chains of hatred and force lightning. You feel the electricity, the pain, the threat. It gnaws at you, threatens to pull you back into the abyss you fought so hard to escape. Your chest tightens, your respirator hisses, your hands tremble on the console of your own rage. And then, amidst the roar, a single thought anchors you. You will not let him die. Pain rips through your body like molten fire. Every joint screams, every nerve screams. Your armor burns, your lungs ache, and yet your mind clears. You reach through the storm, through the agony, and your hands find him, the Emperor, the serpent that has coiled around your soul for decades. His power lashes at you, but the force flows stronger than fear. You lift him. Every motion is agony, your muscles screaming in protest. Lightning arcs between you and the twisted figure who has controlled, manipulated, and poisoned you. His eyes flare with disbelief, hatred, rage. You hear his screams as clearly as your own heartbeat, a sound that cuts sharper than any saber. The bridge quakes beneath your weight, debris raining around you, and still, you hold him. Still, you resist. Your son watches, eyes wide, hope and terror warring across his face. He clings to life, clinging to you in faith you barely recognize in yourself. And in that fragile heartbeat, you see it. A future unbound by fear, unbound by darkness, unbound by the monster you became. The Emperor struggles, writhing, venomous and triumphant, his lightning striking and shredding the air. Pain devours your flesh, fire licks at your veins, your lungs scream with every mechanical breath. But you do not falter, you do not hesitate. The chains of the dark, the lies, the manipulation, the years of twisted loyalty, they all snap under the weight of choice. And with a roar that shakes the bridge itself, you hurl him. He falls. The abyss swallows his screams. Lightning fractures and fizzles. Shadows consume him. Silence, impossible and total, crashes over you like a tidal wave. For the first time in decades, you breathe freely, though your body screams and burns. The monster trembles, Vader shudders, and beneath the mask, Anakin Skywalker exhales, raw and trembling, as though surfacing from a lifetime beneath crushing depths. You stagger to your son's side, your hand trembling as you touch him. His eyes are wide with fear and disbelief, and yet there is trust there, hope, faith. You have returned, not just in body, but in soul. The armor, the respirator, the mask, they have been tools of fear, but they cannot contain the man who chooses life, love, and light in this final, desperate hour. Pain radiates through you, but it is nothing compared to the weight lifting from your chest. The chains are broken. The dark has not won. Not today. The force hums around you, vibrant, alive, forgiving. It whispers of redemption, of paths once closed, of futures reclaimed. You feel your son's hand in yours, small and fragile, yet impossibly strong. Together, you stand amid the ruins, the fires of battle licking at the edges of vision, the shadows retreating from your newfound clarity. You are not unscarred. You are not whole. Pain devours you. The burns, the broken body, the years of darkness, they are all here. But something far greater is present. Choice. You chose him. You chose life. You chose the light. Behind you, the Death Star shudders, the Emperor's throne room fractured and burning. The galaxy trembles, unknowing, unseeing, but the tides have shifted. One moment, one choice, has rewritten the course of fate. You feel it in the Force. The dark power that once held you in chains is gone. For the first time in decades, you are free. And in the silence after the storm you hear it, not the roar of battle, not the hiss of your respirator, but the heartbeat of a father and son, joined, reborn in the crucible of fire and lightning, in the shadow of death, in the victory of choice. The mask hisses as you remove it, metal clanking against metal. Your face, burned and scarred, stares back at you. The man you were, the monster you became, and the father you are now, all exist in the same moment. Pain is present, yes, but freedom tastes sweeter than any victory you have ever known. The Force embraces you. You are Anakin Skywalker once more. The monster sleeps. The man rises. The Emperor is destroyed. Vader's body is broken, but Anakin's soul is redeemed. The audience is left with awe, relief, and emotional closure. The redemption of Anakin Skywalker, the father who chose love over darkness. The hiss of your respirator fades. Silence descends over the burning wreckage of the Death Star, broken and heavy, the echoes of battle lingering like ghosts. Cold air brushes across your skin, and for the first time in decades you feel it. Wind, real, living air, unfiltered by the mask that has caged your face, your breath, your soul. You shiver. The metal of your armor weighs less now, not just physically but spiritually. Your hands, scarred and trembling, lift the mask. Cold metal slides from your head, revealing a face that has been hidden, burned, and broken. Your reflection stares back, ghostly under the dim, flickering lights of the collapsing throne room. Eyes, once shrouded in darkness, now meet the light. They are the eyes of a man who has seen hell and returned. The bridge of your nose, the jagged scars across your cheeks. They tell a story of pain, of choices, of consequences. Yet within them flickers something else. Peace. You breathe freely for the first time in years. Each inhale burns and soothes simultaneously. The smoke, the ash, the metallic tang of destruction fills your nostrils. But instead of suffocating you, it grounds you. You are alive. Not as Vader, not as a weapon, not as a shadow of a man manipulated by fear and rage. Alive as Anakin Skywalker. Your son's eyes find yours. Wide, wet with unshed tears, flickering with confusion, hope, and love. He reaches toward you, hand trembling. You want to say something, but words falter. The years, the darkness, the mask of Vader, all the pain and hate fall away in that simple, fragile connection. One touch, one grasp of hands, and time collapses. He doesn't know the full weight of what you endured, nor the agony you carried. He only knows that his father is here, broken and yet whole in a way he's never seen. Your heart swells, heavy with pride, heavy with sorrow, heavy with the knowledge that redemption always comes at a price. Pain coils through you. Your chest tightens. Every joint screams. Your body protests in ways your soul already anticipated. The Force hums around you, vibrant, alive, forgiving, and yet your own body begins to betray you. The lightning, the burns, the years of servitude under the dark side, they all converge in this final, fragile moment. You feel death's icy fingers brushing closer, but fear does not follow. There is only acceptance. There is only clarity. You speak, and your voice is a rasp, a whisper of wind over charred metal. Luke, I am. He grips your hand tighter, refusing to let go, and you feel a warmth that is almost unbearable. The mask of Vader, the monster you became, fades entirely. Not just in body, but in essence. The man behind it, the boy from Tatooine who once dreamed of freedom among the stars, finally emerges. You are no longer chains, no longer rage, no longer servitude. You are Anakin Skywalker. The bridge shakes. Fires crackle around you, the remnants of the Emperor's throne room collapsing in on itself. Smoke curls in ethereal tendrils, and the stench of burning metal and flesh fills your lungs. Yet you do not choke. Instead, you inhale it as a final baptism, a world consumed and purged, leaving only truth in its wake. Pain surges like tidal waves. Every breath, every heartbeat reminds you that your body is fragile, broken. The Force flows around you, yet within, your own vessel begins to fail. Your vision blurs, the colors of the fires melting into pools of red and gold, the cries of the dying, the echoes of the past, the whispers of the dark, they all fade. Only the present remains, only the warmth of your son's hand. Father, he whispers, and it pierces you. A dagger of regret and relief, all at once. That single word holds a lifetime of love and loss, of fear and hope, of sins forgiven and sins remembered. You meet his gaze, and in it, you see the light that has always existed within you, the light the darkness could never fully extinguish. You reach a hand up to touch his face. Your fingers, trembling and scarred, trace the outline of his jaw, the contour of his cheek. The connection is electric, not in the sense of power or rage, but of life, real, human, living. His eyes glisten. Yours blur. Your breath comes in short, ragged gasps. The respirator is gone, but your body cannot sustain the weight of what has transpired. You feel it, the release, the letting go. The burden you carried for decades dissipates like mist. The Force welcomes you, and yet it is the humanity, the love, the simple act of being father and son that redeems you entirely. Around you, the galaxy continues its chaos, oblivious to the intimate moment unfolding here in the wreckage. Star destroyers crumble, fires rage, and the Emperor's shadow is finally banished. And yet in this personal, fragile, human moment, you find eternity in a heartbeat. You close your eyes. The pain is immense. The scars, the burns, the years of torment, they all converge in one final crescendo. But there is peace, deeper than any battlefield, purer than any victory. You exhale, and for the first time, it is not Vader's mechanical hiss, but your own. Your body is failing, but your soul is unshackled. You feel your son press closer, his warmth anchoring you to the living world one last time. You whisper to him, words rasping from the edge of existence. Tell them I was Anakin Skywalker. And with that, the last vestige of the monster falls away. The armor, the mask, the shadow of Vader, It all dissolves into memory. Your chest rises and falls one final time, and your eyes, scarred yet human, close. You are free. The Force surrounds you, not as a weapon, not as a tool, not as a servant to darkness, but as a home. The boy you once were, the man who fell, the father who loved, everything coalesces into one final, luminous moment of redemption. The galaxy will remember the Sith, the war, the monster, but in this silent, fleeting instant, it does not matter. What matters is the man who returned, the father who held his son's hand until the last, and the light that was never fully extinguished. Anakin Skywalker dies red.